talk yet, and I probably won't answer if you call my phone. Always asking why I put her in a friend zone, saying she nearby at another friend's home. I don't wanna see another sunset.
She don't wanna see another sunset where the stars don't show, cause the clouds they're upset for me. Told you I was trying, change your mind and I'm dying. You don't wanna see another star fall from the sky like that. You don't wanna see me fall from grace. Maybe I was trapped, but you never had my back. You fall for the sake of love, and I felt so miserably. Yeah, you could've hit me up, I never lost my love. I was hoping you would call back. I know that I'm far from greatness, and the way we trade places. Had to stop for a moment. You can see in my eyes that I'm hoping.
It's been 18 days since I kept her waiting. Probably won't last for another 18. She asked me where I'm at when it comes to dating. Can't you see that I don't wanna talk yet? And I probably won't answer if you call my phone. Always asking why I put her in a friend zone, saying she nearby at another friend's home. I don't wanna see another sunset. You don't wanna see me fall like that. Wipe the tears off the blade when you pull it out my bag. When you told me you could die just to keep me like that. When I looked you in her eyes and I heard your voice cry. Baby, it was love, baby, it was tough. Maybe it's enough. Lost a lot of blood, left me in the cut. Baby, it was trust, baby, now it's dust. Crying to my cuz, leaving all my bruh twisted in my gut. It's been 18 days since I kept her waiting. Probably won't last for another 18. She asked me where I'm at when it comes to dating. Can't you see that I don't wanna talk yet? And I probably won't answer if you call my phone. Always asking why I put her in a friend zone, saying she nearby at another friend's home. I don't wanna see another sunset. It's been 18 days since I kept her waiting. Probably won't last for another 18. She asked me where I'm at when it comes to dating. Can't you see that I don't wanna talk yet? And I probably won't answer if you call my phone. Always asking why I put her in a friend zone, saying she nearby at another friend's home. I don't wanna see another sunset. I don't wanna see another sunset. I don't wanna see another sunset.
We only do it for the day one then. Me never do it for no bag of fake friend. Me never run down. Me never run down friend. Nah, do it for the day one. So me do it for the day one them. Me never run down. Me never run down friend. Nah, do it for the day one. Only do it for the day one them. One link and one order. Stick to me circle like bricks and mortar. Me never leave them in a wanna. Coulda late in the night, is a dust still gone. Me couldn't sell them for $1. Now sell me friend, me rather suffer like dagger. Coulda end up in a jail or a grave. Me friend, cause you know that's a day one day. Me never run down. Me never run down friend. Nah, do it for the day one. Only do it for the day one. Them. Me never run down. Me never run down friend. Nah, we do it for the day one. Do it for the day one. Bust a toast for your day one them. The one you are right with straight to the end. Papa champagne if you're really proud of your friend. Real soldier, we not really borrow knowledge. Cheers to life. Thank God we not fall out and we not no strife. We just cool like ice. Cause we no have no time for no little petty fire. Me never run down. Me never run down, friend. Do it for the day one. So me do it for the day one day. Do it for the day one. Only do it for the day one day. Up all night, stacking up, it's alright. Coulda depend pon them in the hour right the night. Coulda swing pon the left, me coulda swing pon the right. Not textile, some boy them feel them too bright. Run around, chat a lot of speed like bike.
Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to Islands Girl Talk. You guys missed us? Because we missed you all. We missed them, right?
Of course we did.
Been looking forward to today's show like a lot for many reasons and more. But before we get into it, how are you guys?
Good.
That's good.
A lot better this week. Because remember last week I wasn't 100%.
We know
but
you
this
were,
week I'm feeling a lot better.
Nice. So you're bringing it today.
Yeah.
Shawna is back, guys. Shawna is back in full
Shawna
effect.
is back.
Indeed. And we're excited for a real good reason. We always get excited for this particular one. It's our second time doing this. It's the last Wednesday of the month. And you know what that means? Guys perspective, right? And that means we're going to be talking about all things male, all things men, all things guys, and we love to bring in a male co-host to help spearhead the show and to be our in-house sounding board for all the men, our representative, if you will. So we had to make sure that we choose well. You know what I mean? So that they can represent the men well. Yeah. Right? Because
so far we've been doing a good job there.
I think so.
We started on a high.
Yeah.
So ladies, make sure and pull out your pen, your notepad, because you're about to be schooled.
We can guarantee
everything men, you're about to be schooled.
We can guarantee that you all are going to learn something today with our guest. We have none other than J Revolution in the house today. Make some noise. Let's see some flames.
Show the confetti.
Show some flames in the chat room, yo.
Let me take a little snap of J one time there.
Yo, we can't be fangirling too much.
Yeah. Watch it.
But we
no
have
autographs, please. Guys, no autograph, please.
Richard, put the camera on Jay.
No autograph, please. No autographs.
No pictures. Jay, didn't you do a song called No Pictures? Yeah. I remember that song. A wicked song. You never released it. I want to do that song, you know.
Oh, no,
we had to find that song again.
Man, a writer, so I was in a dark place when I wrote that song.
Oh God.
I don't know what I want to hear.
Wicked.
People that male Adele there.
I was in
Yeah, ever heard that one?
Man in a Dark Place.
Nah, that was an old song. You only heard
a piece of
Road.
it.
No, she heard the other song that I wrote.
It's how Chris heard a song. Shawna heard
They
a
heard
song.
a beat. You heard a beat that you were supposed to sing on.
Yes.
I didn't even know he sings. So I feel left out of this, but okay.
Oh gosh.
Neicy, I will deal with you later on in the program.
Well, guys, let's just touch a little bit on who Jay is, aka Jamil Bellerand, right? And most people, he's well known in the music industry, both locally, regionally, and even internationally, right? And he is known as a videographer, a very accomplished videographer, right? And like I said, has worked with many artists across the board, right? Jay also is known for these hilarious sketches.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know. These hilarious sketches that he's done. He's done like some of the characters that I love is like Liam Chad and Bill Dome and Don Decker. I don't know where he comes up with these ideas, but
well, like a guy
trust
answer if
me,
you ask.
I'm about to. Can't take him, you know. And we're also gonna touch a little bit on his own podcast called Tips, which is it stands for the Insensitive Podcast Series. Oh. That is so you. All right, but before we continue, I just want to do a little official write-up now, a little readout on here. You know, you sent me a bio.
I did.
I want the people to know exactly
proper things.
The proper things. So it's very short and sweet. Jamil Belrand is a visual architect, creative consultant, and copywriter. Starting his career in advertising at the age of 19, he quickly rose through the ranks at his agency and won his company a large contract. The result? The realization that he could start an agency of his own. Since then, he has combined his professional and academic experience to become a trusted name both locally and globally, serving international acts such as Miss Lauryn Hill, Snoop Dogg, Maya, and Woodridge, to local and regional acts like Buju Banton, Marshall Montano, Destra, and more. He is known for his ability to achieve the best results from less than optimal circumstances, a healthy appetite for risk, an eye for detail, and helping people to get paid. And that is Jamil Belrand, aka J Revolution, in a nutshell. Yes, Manji.
Yo, who wrote that bio, bro?
I wonder who.
Somebody.
So, I mean, tell us a little bit quickly, before we get into the topic of the day, tell us a little bit about your career thus far.
All right. So I just start from the beginning and run through quickly. So I actually lied on my resume in like a big way, claiming I had experience.
Right.
Coincidentally, if we believe in coincidences, the CEO of that company was the father of one of my best friends at the time. So he see the resume and he was like, yo, when he walk in the office, I was like, oh my word, this is dead. So then he tells everybody, okay, I'll continue the interview from here. And he said, okay, I know you're creative, so I'm going to give you a shot and let's see what happens. So what ended up happening is that I wrote an ad for Maritime, which I still have, that Maritime instantly approved. So they were like, okay, cool, you could jump on your roster.
Okay.
Coincidentally, again, the senior copywriter left the agency, so it was me alone. So I had to pick up and do a lot of things quickly, right? And then in terms of that contract with the large sum, the ministry was doing a celebration of 100 years of gas and oil, the industry itself. And Conrad Enel was the Minister of Energy at the time. And they were pitching a 3D museum and a real in-person museum in Point-A-Pier. And Conrad said, well, why do we need the real museum if it is, we have a 3D museum that people can go to? And I said, listen, in our presentation, I put every 3D modeler requires an actual real life model to base a 3D model on.
Okay.
And if you understand that human beings still require this experience to even replicate a memory of the experience in the 3D space, because if you don't know what a museum is, what are you doing in a museum in 3D space? And he was like, that make real sense. And then my company, big respect to my company, even though I left, but it was like $12 million that they got. It's not to call figures, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that, but the point is it was that, and then
Nothing.
and you know, at the end of the month it was like, okay, but you get a salary, right? So if I could get a quarter of that for my, so I was like, okay, you know what?
Or something.
No, because that's no, but that's my job.
Yeah.
That is my job, regardless of the outcome. That's my job, and I understood that, so I never hold any bad water for the agency because it taught me a lot. All this garbage spitting here, I learned this, so I'll eternally be grateful. I can never repay them. But the reality here, my personality come against that factor is like that. But that was like, nah, that's staying in the back of my head. It's like, bro, $12 million. If you had get a quarter of that, it was good for a minute now.
Indeed.
So that is what rests in the back of my head. So eventually, I would have talked to my mentors and stuff, and they would say, yo, listen, he's already do this online, because I was already doing this whole network thing with something called Nova, which stood for Now All Voices Are Heard, NOVH. So he's like, yo, he's done do it online. Try and see. So I jump out, which was kind of crazy, but yeah.
That's how you had to do it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that you understood the whole work ethic behind it, but I mean, you could have really made some coin there. So
But
that's to do things on your own.
no, but again, it is your job, and you do the job to your best of your ability. If it is you care about it, and the reality is, I cared about these were my ideas being accepted by people. There's no better feeling than that. As much as
bonus, at least.
as much as I don't care what people think, like that still feel good.
I hear you.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit though about the artists that you've worked with.
Okay. Well, so we'll start with big up in a big way some of the very first artists to trust me right now. We ain't just go and call big artists. I want to call people like Mr. Renzo, and I big up people like Hashim the Dream from BVI, right? And I want to big up people like oh god, there's so much. So let me move forward. If I remember, I'll come back.
Right.
But Destra was one of the first people to pull me on any kind of tour, right? And I mean, it was an amazing experience. I can never repay her for that. It set me on course to take certain actions and which are showing dividends today.
Right.
So big up Destra and the team. They genuinely treated me like family, and it also kind of set a standard in my brain as to how the kind of treatment I should accept
Yes.
when you're working with people. So they really established some standards in my head. And of course, I have to big up Mr. Marshall Montano. Through him and his management, plenty of opportunities came, right? Right. So they would call me for their kind of specialty edits. It's still our projects I can't even mention right now that would have been worked on. And through them, their management team would have lined me up with Miss Lauren Hill. And you could imagine the feeling when Miss Lauren Hill actually FaceTiming me and talking to me now. Like you can't, like at the beginning, if you had told me that, yeah, I'd be like, nah, bro, come on. That ain't gonna reach that far.
Did you freeze? Did you fan out?
Nah, I mean, the thing is, you know, I mean, I'm more or less, I don't want to say I'm dead inside, but I mean, at the end of the day, life has taken its toll though.
Yeah.
So, but I'll tell you when I did geek out though. Again, through opportunities that working with Destra, I met somebody up the islands who manages, international artists who trying to get more of a foot in the Caribbean market, which would have included Maya, R&B singer Maya. Bro, Maya called my phone, dog.
Oh my, I can only imagine. I can
Maya
only
called
imagine
my
how you
phone
felt.
and I was like, nah, bro. Like, I remember one of my brothers was there and I'm like, yeah, this is Jamil.
You couldn't play it too cool.
Of course. I do videography, lyric videos.
You might
Anything.
song.
Why that
Bro.
sounded like Liam a little bit?
Nah, not Liam. But no. You understand? You had to look back at the days when Maya singing, you only on BT and you're taking in these R&B artists, and it's like people like Maya, Monica, Brandy, all these people, and it's like, Maya, call my phone, bro. I have Maya phone number, dog. Like, whoa, she might change it by now, but I'm saying. So I found out there for sure, right? And and the whole thing with the Snoop Dogg link, which for some reason I never post on social media, but
Why?
I don't know. I'm a guy like that. I don't know. I will explain myself at some point in this life.
You don't know.
But it was an artist who had a song with them, right? So an artist named Natty Rico who had a song with Snoop Dogg and another guy named Monday Justice, and they were like, yo, we need some material, a lyric video, this, that, and here. Come and spruce up something for me. And I was like, for who? And they FedEx, and it was a serious business. They FedEx me the hard drives to work on this thing, and we worked on it for like a week, and approvals going back and forth, and you getting messages say, yo bro, cuz, you did good video, whatever, right? I mean, it's just a small little message. I mean, but the bottom line is the team had to approve it. So my work has been approved by these people. You understand what I'm saying? So
Awesome.
I'm low key, but
well,
That is amazing. Absolutely
Jamil,
amazing.
big up.
You.
And outside of, because I know you work with a lot of artists in the videography side of things.
yeah, talk to me.
You moved from the glasses.
On glasses now. This is not Liam. This is not Liam at all.
You
This is
guys
not
in for
Liam.
a treat today with Jamil.
This is not Liam.
He
This
is a character of characters.
This is.
I was actually going to ask you about that. I want to hear about his characters, Jamil. So outside of videography, we just got a full range of all the things that he has done.
Yes.
But that's not all. He's not a limited man, right?
We ain't done.
So let's hear about his characters because he plays quite a couple.
Very well. Very, very well.
Nah, but these characters are very nuanced. It's kicks, right? Don't get me wrong, it's kicks. But some people that might miss the messages, right? So Liam Chad, let's start with Liam Chad, because I'm a dog, right?
My fave.
My dog too.
So I was scrolling through Instagram and a particular influencer friend of mine, well, I would just say acquaintance, because we cool and thing, but I don't throw a wrong friend like that. But anyway, so I saw them put up a tutorial on how to make a particular drink, right?
Right.
So they said, hey guys, this is so-and-so. I'm about to make my favorite drink, X, Y, and Z. And then the video cuts to a black woman, very dark skin, making the drink. And I was like, that is hilarious. Because you have this very light-skinned person. No, we know colorism exists, right? So I just always look for them nuances when it is I write in any kind of sketch. So I'm looking at this video and I'm expecting her to make the drink. But then it cuts to this very typical thick black woman whose face you're not seeing, and I'm like, that is hilarious, dog. And that was the birth of Liam Chad right there.
Really?
Because the first sketch I put with Liam Chad was me making a glass of water. But then when it was time to pour the water, it cut to somebody else, clearly dark skin, pouring the water, which is to show that, yo, listen, my privilege is extended to the point where, yeah, say I go and do it, no, but it's not really me. And then again, Liam Chad, even the name, that probably could get me in trouble. I don't know if I can say, but the last name, if you look at the last name, is a combination of the two most powerful families in Trinidad, right? And the joke is that Liam believes that his life is so difficult because it's within his bubble, and we all are subject to that type of
It's
belief.
all relative, yeah.
All of us probably believe that the worst thing that happened to us is the worst thing that could possibly happen to anybody.
Yes.
Right? But Liam Chad just takes that to an extreme. Right? But it is meant to mimic privileged people, because I've had conversations with some privileged people, and the way they talk is amazing. Like,
You swear.
like, for instance, this is one young lady, she moved from Westmoreland to Carnage, but you know those by the boys or the boys, right? Up there.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's past Carnage. And Homegirl said, quote, I hope you all are willing to rough it to Carnage. I thought she was joking, but no, fam, she was dead serious.
I swear to
So
God.
the bubble is real. So Liam Chad just pokes fun of that and things like shaming people for not being as privileged as you are, and just doing the basic things. Oh, work hard, don't give up, you'll be fine, blah blah blah, without a real plan.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
So he keeps throwing wrong the word privilege.
I was just saying, I'm so glad that he's.
Yeah, of course.
But let's let him finish. So we talked about Liam Chad. We know that Don Decker is.
Don Decker is just any parody on news. One of the first people I remember seeing on TV for news was Dan Rather and Connie Chung, and that was like ABC or CBS or something. That was real old. So Don is just a parody, a simple, typical news guy, kind of influenced by Chappelle's show when Chappelle would have worn. Is the exact is a similar wig to Chappelle when he would put on the mask and I think it was Chuck something. Anyway.
And Bill Doom.
Right. Well, Bill Doom, I don't really want to get too political with Bill Doom, but Bill Doom is political satire. Just go on a little left because Bill Doom, the name is supposed to sound like Build Doom. And we go end of day. If you don't get, you don't get. I don't want to turn Island Girl talk into any kind of politically affiliated program. It's not that.
We'll do our best to keep it light and trendy.
But Bill Dome is straight up. So whereas Liam Chad deals with the privilege side and those sorts of things, Bill Dome just kind of deal with the trigger inside. So the first sketch I did with Bill Dome was a recipe to eat grass, right? Because we understand that at the time it was charged that we would debating, where's this kind of response we're going on? So I was like, here comes Bill Dome. All right, cool. Well, we go make grass. We go roll with it. And that's the kind of character Bill Dome
That was a hilarious sketch, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That was decent.
Just because I know a lot of people hearing what you're talking about, but people would not necessarily know where they could find these skits. So just give us a quick insight on your TikTok.
Okay, well,
and your Instagram.
Well, everywhere I am J Revolution X, literally everywhere. So J Revolution and just add a X,
Yes.
Like your X that might be checking from my fellas. Don't even study that. We gonna move.
All right, Jay.
But the X means 10. Sorry, the X really means 10. But go ahead.
So briefly now, this is the last thing before we get into the topic of the day. But tell us a little about your foray into your own podcast called Tips.
All right. So Tips came from the idea that, well, at least from the thought on my part, I do feel like we share information freely, especially in the creative industry. For instance, if a man kind of get through with something that is pretty formulaic that and can be replicated and could help a lot of people, they kind of tend to keep it to themselves. Indeed. Which is fine. I mean, on some level, you can charge for your information, but I found that in my own career, I gave information freely. And I did videos freely for free for a lot of people now. And I'm like, why is this culture not being fostered just a little bit more? If we say we for the youths and we for the industry and we for the this and the that, why can't I say, okay, well, you want to learn to start a podcast, do X, Y, and Z? So tips came from that idea. Now, granted, the first 6 episodes are out. That was more of me testing the technology and the mics I had to buy and the equipment I had to take. So I have everything now in my new studio down in Central. So I will be doing it regularly now. But that is the ethos of tips, to truly give people information. So I'm rebranding it from insensitive to informative, right?
Nice.
Yeah. But I really encouraging people that if it is you come on my show and you sell clothes, I need you to break down that process, bro.
Yes.
I don't just wait to rattle out, oh yeah, you could buy my brand here, check out my Instagram, you know we just do it, dog, and asking you when inspired to do clothes every 10 seconds. Nah, bro, break down this process. Who's your supplier? Who's your this? Who's your that? So so if you're really for the youths, a youth man can come and say, oh wow, I actually learned how to sell clothes, right? And to be fair, I feel like educational videos now, with the advent of rapid content creation, is being more accepted. So I feel like people are now under the social pressure to really give real information because, as they say, you could go on TikTok and learn right now.
Yes.
So.
And if you don't put something like real information, the comments are
They will repair. Yeah, they will repair. They will repair.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I love that. So you've rebranded it the informative podcast
Yeah. New
series.
logo and everything. So.
Love it. Looking forward. All right, guys. So we're gonna get into the topic of the day. That was a little bit on Jamil, aka J Revolution,
Come on,
right? But we are glad that you
Talk too much.
No.
I'm done. I'm leaving.
But we are glad that you touched a little bit on privilege, because today's topic is just about that, but male privilege. As you know, this is Island Girl Talk, a show geared toward women and women's issues.
Right.
And so even though male privilege is a multifaceted topic and could branch in any which direction, we're going to focus today on how it affects women.
Well, absolutely.
All right.
Male privilege is directly linked to the quality of women's lives in society in general. So to even try to separate it is nonsense.
Well, what I meant was even within male privilege, right, there are certain levels to it. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, like your male privilege may not be that of another man that may not look like you, or
absolutely.
white male privilege is different from black male privilege, and so on and so forth. But let's start with this, guys. We're going to give you all a quick definition of what male privilege is. Male privilege is the system of advantages or rights that are available to men solely on the basis of their sex. So in other words, just because they are men, they are automatically awarded or have a certain amount of advantages affordable to them, simply because they have a little swingy thing between the legs. Yeah?
a little swingy thing.
So like I mentioned before, a man's access to these benefits may vary depending on how closely they match society's ideal masculine norm, or view of what a the ideal masculine norm is, right? So like we said just now, he may have certain privileges that a short, fat man mightn't have, or unfortunately, this is the world we live in, guys. So So, Jamil, what we want to do, the structure we're going to take today, like I told you before, is we are going to throw some instances of male privilege to you, certain scenarios, and we want to bounce that off of you, and you just tell us how you feel about it.
Yeah.
Of course, we're going to turn it over to the chat room as well. The guys there, we want to hear from you, men. Today is all about y'all. And tell us how you guys feel about these instances of male privilege. All right, guys? Who wants to go first?
Okay, so well, definitely one of the areas where we can see male privilege being dominant is men are not expected to not swear, like curse now. They don't have to, they're not expected to curse or they're not expected to be, sorry, women are not expected to curse or be submissive or,
Right, so...
But men are allowed to do it. But what I was really trying to say was the men, So on the flip side, women are expected to be submissive, or they're expected to have more ladylike behaviors, or you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Well, I think some people refer to that as respectability politics, and that is also a spectrum because that deals with people's social class, etc., etc. Right. So there definitely is a stereotype that boxes women into this ladylike persona, right? Which, as you said, requires you to be submissive, docile, quiet.
Right.
You just sit there in the corner, you don't know what you're talking about, leave this to the men, etc., etc. And that is definitely real. There's no question. I don't really think anybody could question that. Does it exist today? I still think it does. Absolutely. I still think that in a room, if it is we having a business meeting, you would probably automatically think that the man is the boss, even though the woman might be the CEO of the company. Those things still happen. So
But why? Why?
well-
Why? Especially in that situation where women are expected to be submissive or ladylike.
Well, I think that really does come from labor. And why I say that is because you have to remember that we're talking about after things like World War II, 1939 to 1945 was World War II, right? We're talking about men just dying, sending out to war. The labor, the workplace is dangerous. It's unsafe, so you're not going to send no women to the workplace
Right.
where the mortality rate is 40%. You have a 1 in 4 chance of dying today.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, right? 40% chance of dying today, so 4 in 10, right?
Yeah.
So you have women taking these roles where they're home, they're taking care of this place. So if I am working and doing all these different things, I'm being sent to war, blah 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 blah. It's like, all right, I have all this stake here, so you don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Right? As a nurse, you might help me out in the infirmary, that's that. But listen, I bring in home the money, I risk my life, etc., etc. So women didn't have an active, and I mean, those times women didn't even have the right to vote. So what decision-making power does this individual have over me and my decisions? Nah, you stay there and be quiet. So that trickles down to even where we live in a society where obviously the workplace is not as dangerous and women are making equal and more money than men. We definitely can't still be doing that. The provider protector role has slowly started to become slightly obsolete. So why do we still have this thing that a lady should be a certain way? Okay, the next part of that, men are stronger than women. So it's like, why are you acting up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I'm
relax
doing the
yourself, stay
obvious.
quiet. So it's real, and it affects things all the way from your business to
Yeah.
just walking the streets. You know what I mean? So it rests in sexism too, obviously, which is one of the most pervasive forms of bigotry in society. So we move all them things
Goes
real.
all the way back from time immemorial.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can't. It's always existed, I think. You know, I mean, I've read that in times that there was a time when women were in charge, but
This is what like these books, ancient times and stuff like that.
Ancient times.
Ancient times and stuff.
Certain cultures, like in African thing, where the women are like
Matriarchs, absolutely.
you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, and of course, those are not, and that's the thing, those are societies not really based on capitalism too. So we ain't really judging you necessarily on labor. You would be judging those societies based on how well you hold up the village, how well you carry on the culture, how well you pass on traditions and teachings, and how well you guide people into the future. So those are different standards in which a human being is judged. But in capitalist societies, for the most part, a human being is judged based on their usefulness. And the usefulness to like create capital, to add to the system, versus to add to necessarily the quality of connections or human beings. Now, once you could make good on the system, you're a person worthwhile. You understand?
The dominant figure. All right. Cool. Neicy, you have one?
Yes. And this one is close to my heart.
Serious.
We know.
So me being a woman who likes to speak,
Yeah.
my point today is men can dominate conversations without being judged. To break it down a bit, women are usually perceived as being too talkative when they, even when they're speaking less, right? One studies even show that women make up 60 to 80% of groups in order to have equal conversations, right? So I want to hear your opinion on a woman being vocal or too talkative.
Well, that goes back to what Shawna was saying as well. It goes back to the whole, you stay in the corner there and stay quiet, right?
Yeah.
Women must be seen and not heard.
Right. And unfortunately, in a room with probably a bunch of men, and we have to talk about men who hold positions of power, not your average Joe dog, because you in a room with a bunch of guys that's just old talk. But in a boardroom where men feel like they're making executive decisions, you say 2 words and them done find, who's this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So as you just said, if a study shows that women have to make up 80% of the group to speak an equal amount of time, then that just goes to show that in that group they have to have an unbalanced power in the numbers in order to get their voice out. And again, it's real.
So unfortunate.
You know what I mean? And which is why the diversity is important, and you get people to have rooms where everybody is able to share their perspectives equally, so you could truly get a real understanding of what's going on in your village, I suppose.
I wanted to ask you from a personal standpoint, because Because I've had conversations with men who don't have a problem with women voicing their opinion and stuff, especially if they have something to say and it making sense. You don't have a lot of times women just, well, let me not make it general.
Say people. People don't make sense plenty times.
Talk, and at the end of it, what are you really saying? So from a personal perspective, are you one of those who, if you're having a conversation with a woman and she's talkative, it needs to make sense for you to really be giving it air?
Well, it now comes back to the intent of the conversation.
Yeah.
Because every form of communication has to have intent behind it.
Yeah.
So if it is you are talking to me about business and you're not making sense, then I don't care if it's a woman or a man. I'll let you know, you say, not making sense. But if it is you are going through some sort of emotional struggle and you have to toil through these initial words, I with compassion would understand that, okay, you're rambling because you're probably anxious. You don't know how to, maybe you have to get to a comfortable zone for you to actually talk about the real problem. And that's a skill that you have to develop, any human being, right?
Yes.
So, but when I hear you rambling, I was like, all right, yeah, go through, ramble. Because I could
sooner or later she's going to get to the point.
Right. But I could tell that whole talkative thing, men won't talk. I could tell it. If you really get a guy free room in a judgmentless space, they will rattle though.
Oh yeah.
They will rattle same way. They will rattle same way. More than likely, they will rattle the same way.
And to be fair, guys, I can't take a man that has talked too much. So I mean, to be fair,
so
it
you
can go
consider yourself
both
to
ways.
be a woman who speaks
I have a good one.
In this forum, yes,
talk.
but generally, let's say, in a group or even in a romantic relationship, the man usually ends up being
Really
the more talkative one.
Really? For you? And that's what you prefer?
No.
That's how she is. That's how she is.
Because she said the man ended up being the more
talkative
talkative one. That's
yeah.
why, I was a little bit...
Yeah. Which is, it doesn't really work for me. That's not what we're talking
Boy,
about today.
Krystal, boy, you need to find the one.
The one is me.
Nah, you need to find the
I
one
found
from the
the one.
Matrix us because I don't know
found
what's
the
going on
one.
with you, boy.
I have a real good juicy one.
I found the one. Well, let me go now.
Yeah, you go. Sorry.
So I have one for you. And this goes along the lines of safety. Men can travel alone without worrying about being targeted for violence because of their own from their own gender. And I want to use the example, I don't mean to bring her up, but Andrea Barath and all these ladies that
You have several examples.
Yes, several examples. I mean, that is not something that men generally have to worry about. Now, given, I read something in the papers once that stated that men die at a more alarming rate in Trinidad. I don't know how true that is, but I read it in a paper.
I would say it's true.
Yes?
I would say it's true.
But do they die from, sexual assault or being kidnapped and stuff like that? And do they still walk around being fearful for their lives when they have to take public transport?
Yeah, obviously not, right? And this is also an avenue of male privilege. The way privilege works is that usually you're not able to recognize it if you're born into it. You know what I mean? So definitely men would take for granted the notion that everyday decisions that we make are very much life and death for women. And that does include taking a taxi, right?
Wow.
Yes, the reason why the bottom line is when a crime happens like that against a woman, it is stripping her of her autonomy and her humanity. So it's always going to come across as, yo, this was terrible because you defile a body and then you discard it. You know what I mean? That is a different mentality than saying a man get robbed or he was in gang violence or somebody tried to steal your car and they shoot you or something. That is different. And we know it's different because the intent comes from a different place. Because you're looking at a woman and you're likely in approaching she with no weapon or no.
Yeah.
You're just overpowering her with strength.
Yeah.
Let's be real. You jump in a taxi and drive with a woman. What was really stopping her from doing something? Because it's just an overpowering situation that you just jumped in a car to go home. This is an everyday occurrence. This is not an outlier. This is not a rare thing. This is you jumping in a car. What is supposed to happen here? How does this lead to my death? So you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It is different and it is something that men will obviously take for granted because yes, crime exists and men die, and that might be because of the choices, the company, and or the actions that they themselves took. But when you hear the manner of how these women are, robbed of their lives, Shannon Banfield, for example, you're walking I am go. Let me don't call names. You walk in the store and that's the end.
Yeah.
Right? The same the young lady who died the other day, Katisha, who was staying with somebody who was a significant other, disappears for a few days, nobody makes a call, dumped again. Like if it if you're taking the person's humanity away. And that's why these crimes should and will be highlighted more. So it will almost feel like more women are dying than men.
Yeah.
But it's statistically it's not the case, right? But that's terrible, Dread.
Yeah.
And it's something that before we started complaining about who are rights and who are this and that, we need to deal with that first.
Yeah.
I just
Well
want to
said,
elaborate
well
still on it because a couple others, like in terms of, like, first of all, I read an article online that stated, well, they did a survey of women saying if for one day no men were on the planet,
what would you do?
What would you do?
Right.
And an alarming amount of them said, they would walk at night. They would go hang out with their friends in the middle of the night. They would wear shorts. They would, just things
Normal
that they
things.
should be able to do regularly in life as participating humans on this planet.
Yeah.
And they said they would do these regular things if there were no men. Some said they wouldn't fear for their lives.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Another thing is, you guys can go to the bar and order a drink alone and be unbothered. You don't have to worry about anybody sexually harassing you or giving you unwanted advances. These are things that we simply cannot do. I would never travel.
Yeah.
I would never take public transport just for fear of my life. If I told you what was my last experience traveling only a couple years ago because I didn't have the car and my dad couldn't pick me up. I was coming from the orthodontist. And that one time, first time I had traveled in years, and something horrible happened, but another time, I'll tell you about it. I will never travel because I am fearful that I will go missing.
Yeah.
You understand? If I do, right? And I say all that to say this. Most men don't get it, right? But you know who will? You know the men who would get it? Those who are in prison. Those who are right now experiencing unwanted sexual harassment from other men, other big, strong, burly men, they would understand.
Yeah.
Because they are in it. But the typical average man would not get what it really feels like for a woman to be fearful of men in general. So I just wanted to bring that point to the fore. Just to bring some awareness to people, men especially, because they don't get it. Like, it's everyday life and da-da-da-da-da. Like, I've had people say to me, why you don't travel? You travel like everybody else. No, we're not like everybody else. We get killed. We get harassed. We get,
Yeah, absolutely. And
And that's a
it's
good
very
point.
terrible to reply to a statement like that. Absolutely. But
I just wanted to add to what Chris said with the traveling thing. I could totally relate to that because I had an instance some years ago where I was traveling like in the evening. It wasn't even too late. And that's why to this day, like if I'm traveling, I always look for a front seat or I try to sit by a door because I like literally stopped a taxi. Actually, no, he was on a stand. So the taxi driver there waiting for people to come in. But I'm a person, I don't know, like even if I'm zoning, my senses is just kind of heightened.
Right.
So I'm like, you understand? But it's not like people passing up and down and you're not saying like, hey, you're going left or you're going right. So that was like a red flag to me. But I didn't have much option, so I got into the taxi. And as soon as I got into the taxi, I saw a fella cross the road, one from the other side coming, and everybody just like enter the car at the same said time. And I was like, when I realized what was happening, I was like, hey, I forget my wallet, because it was right in front of a KFC area.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, I forget my wallet. And the man was like trying to pray it off, like, you're a taxi driver, you're basically hustling. Me not having money
Wallet
should be a something for you.
should be an issue.
So I was like, I'm just gonna run in to get it, and I literally went into the KFC and stand up and literally watch them like in the car for like a while. Nobody passing or anything like that. And then after a while, the car drove off with everybody. And from that moment, when I'm traveling, I literally like, I don't sit inside. Like you can't come from different sides and put me inside. I always sit near to like a door or something of the sort.
God, that is so scary.
Exactly.
That is so scary. Who has one?
I'll go. Let me switch up the vibe a
Let
little
me
bit.
switch it up.
Let me switch it up a little bit. Okay, so this to me is the most common one.
I know
From the time I hear privilege, you know where I'm going already,
I know where you're going.
You know where I'm going. Men are not expected to be monogamous.
Nah.
He didn't know
Where
where
did you get that from?
They catch
No.
you
Let
off
me show.
guard.
Let me show you something. Yeah?
What what I'm saying is, before you go into explanation.
Oh, okay, you didn't finish.
What I'm saying is, even in the music videos and the songs that we hear, they're always singing about hoes and this and that. And
Are we allowed to say hoes here?
It's okay for them to have
This is an adult show.
a million women.
Bro, what do you mean there's an adult show? Let us say sleep, marry, kill, or let us say the F word about adult. Stop it. Or we could say hoes.
Within reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Classy adult show. It's a classy adult show.
All right. So you're basically asking me the question.
Yes.
The typical question. Why men just get praised for multiple women? And I'll let you get into this.
Yeah, let's hear.
People, it's how he's switching.
Let me get into this. All right. We going back. We will start with some literature here, bro.
Right, no problem.
All right. Start with some literature. This guy, Warren Farrell, who wrote The Myth of Male Power. I don't necessarily agree with the whole book because whatever, but because he was born in 1943, bro. He's a old white man. I don't think he will ever truly get. But the man writes about, he says, if it is that a husband, being a husband and proposing to a woman as an institution of marriage is a male privilege, and why does the word husband come from the Nordic root hus, meaning house, and bundi, meaning dweller? House dweller is what
dweller.
husband means. Right? That what the man said. Then the man say, he referenced Germanic etymology and said that it also means to till the soil and to be bonded. So how is that a privilege, right? So let me start with that. With men being expected to be not monogamous, right?
Okay.
The institution of marriage in the first place was meant to create stable society. So there's no way that could happen. And we say, nah, men going to think. When we talk about ancient societies where your life was usually under threat, most men would say, a powerful man protecting the whole village or the kingdom, whatever. Why going to do it one woman? You mad? I protect in this kingdom, dog.
Okay.
Join my concubine, subscribe. Like and subscribe to my concubine house. So it's different circumstances. Now let me bring it into the modern age where what you're really asking me is why men is get praised for multiple girls and women is get shamed for multiple men.
Yes.
Let me start with that and let me be honest. Right? We will start. First of all, I do not subscribe to the notion of minding a woman's business sexually. He is not a pom-pom police. He is not a mind no girl business, and he is not to call no woman a hoe for sexual habits. That is talk of men who don't get through, in my opinion, right?
Yes.
But let me be honest. If a man is getting through with plenty of women, we know that something is being done correctly for him to be getting through multiple times, whether it's his money, swag, or his sexual performances, right? Right. So in other words, to put it short, when a man getting through, he's making an effort. But usually when a woman getting through, she's making herself available.
Right.
And to add to my point, even the women in the music industry who are at the forefront of sexual liberation is saying, Megan Thee Stallion says, quote, how you let a broke Negro talk you out of your drawers. So she even saying, yo, if you just gain it up your dotish, where's Cardi B latest song? Broke boys don't deserve no what? You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that men have to do something. We have to do something.
Okay.
But a woman would just really, let be real men out here thirsty. Oh God, it easy. If we being honest, it easy. No, I believe that the whole hose thing is meant to mess with a woman's self-esteem so that they could control her.
Yeah.
Really and truly.
I like that.
Because men
I
like
could
hoes though.
appreciate that.
Men like hoes though. Men like when a girl come in the club, she looking nice, she busting. Look at the songs that playing these days. Men want to read up your thing like a magazine, and that don't make no sense to me. You can't tell me you looking for a decent girl and then that's your playlist, right? So forget our respectability politics. Throw that in the dustbin. That whole thing is when a man not really sure himself and he's like, boy, this girl could get through any man anytime. I gonna make her think this is bad. And then to my final point now, with the whole thing with our value on the pum pum or whatever, that's not a recent thing. We had to go back to the times where a man offering our next man cattle and land for his daughter.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not a new thing. So it's not a new thing.
It's true.
So all of that is to say that at the end of the day, if we take it back to the most basic of basics, you all have a womb, dog, and that is required to keep the population going. So that is important, though. But then in a state where the population seems to be fine, we ain't really dying as much, this has now become a very pleasurable space to be in. It's warm.
It's moist.
It's warm and it's moist. So here we're going on, boy. No, we don't really necessarily have to protect it. But no, we have to pay for it, dog.
Wow.
And that's all it is. So, in other words, if you gain it away for free, What is really worth, boy?
Right.
If I put a mic on the table, I put one is $75 and one on special. Where you gonna look at the one for $75? Because you think that one on special,
Something
what
wrong.
again that way for? Check the expiry date. So it's shallow, but that's what it is.
Interesting.
But let me don't pretend as to why. Stop asking the question like I don't know the answer. Stop.
Well,
No, you
we got
brought up some valuable points that I
Yeah,
didn't consider.
exactly.
So asking the question is a good thing because we learning.
Yeah.
This is what guy
Absolutely.
perspective is all about, giving
Yes.
different views.
But just to add to the point, well, a further question. We know that they sing about all these women and these hoes, and they have a lot of women. But I find that they will run that thread. They'll play the field, and then they would still look for a woman of a different structure
Yes,
or
a
different
woman
vibe.
of
Well, here
class
what going on.
and
Well, here what
value.
going on. It's not about structure and class. You know what it's about? I'll tell you as a man, it's about cooperation, dog. Plenty best things. Is always ask yourself, why he leave she for she? Cooperation, dog. I had to be on my toes every 10 seconds with you. I feel like if certain things drop, you gone without question. But this woman here allow me to have moments of vulnerability.
Right.
And you'll always get left for that. It no matter what. Don't get me wrong, a man will still take that for granted. But you'll always get leave out for that.
Yeah.
Is the cooperation factor tied to how men deem peace? Like peace
Well,
of
yeah,
mind?
obviously, because
Yeah.
if it is I am with a woman who is a quote unquote body or whatever you're calling all yourself these days, and I feel like if I don't specifically meet a quota that you done, if we in traveling, if you ain't getting this bag, if you ain't getting this, if you ain't getting your allowances and blah blah blah, if that dip one day, you gone, I will be constantly under stress.
Yeah.
Now, not to say a woman is supposed to accept brokenness or anything like that, but listen, this is life.
Yeah.
Love don't get hard, and it's life that is get hard.
Yeah.
So if it is, I can't dip one day with you. Your nails get done, I say, and your nails or whatever, being superficial, but
Yeah.
see, I want to get something done, and you don't necessarily doing it face up. You want to get something done, and you're like, babe, I said, babe, right now, Jed, I feel like we need to put this to somewhere else. What kind of man you is?
Yeah.
I have been told already what kind of man you is, dog.
Yeah. I
For
hear
one
you.
slip, you mad? What?
I hear you, but I was more specifically referring to the line. So I get you where peace is concerned. But what I'm really trying to figure out is I'm more along the line of, is it that you really value a woman who doesn't sleep around? Because
That don't matter.
Observation. So I am not sure. So I'm
That don't matter to
asking.
fellas as
It
much
doesn't
as
matter.
it doesn't matter
So
because
if they're going through all man
you
all
see,
the
no,
time,
no,
it's
no.
okay.
That you see, that's based on again. That's based on a perception.
Okay.
When I meet any woman, no man had a question on his mind first. I'm telling you, I pin my head on a block for that. No man is walking up to a girl and thinking, I wonder what's this girl body count. Usually, everybody comes with their own little reputation behind them, right?
Absolutely.
So that is what men is be worried about because really and truly, between fellas, it is be kind of embarrassing to say, boy, fellas are linking this girl here and say, yeah, and 2, 3, 4 fellas say, me too. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a phone, bro, right? It's not a Nokia, bro. You get me? So
Yeah.
that is play on fellas' ego. You understand what I'm saying? So it had nothing to do with, as much as fellas might want to explain it on that level, is I would say with confidence that is not that. It's just that you could come with your, I suppose, baggage. Fellas talking behind your back, but that girl you wife up, boy, you mad. And I suppose it might be the same way with women, where that fella, and it could be for superficial, but he broke, he's a imps, he's this, he's that. And you might be like, nah. It works both ways. Nobody wants the person that nobody wants, right? So that whole classy thing, it might seem like if, nah, boy, I'm not going to deal with this zest girl because this classy girl is well behaved. But it's not that. It's really more a cooperation thing because that well behaved girl will throw you for a loop, dog. It's talking from experience. But
So
there you go.
Not
essentially,
necessarily, but I hear what you mean.
so essentially, what you're saying is, at the end of the day, you're looking. Well, men in general, they're looking for a team player.
When they are sure of themselves,
Yes.
I'm not going to say men in general because
Okay.
men do
They-
look for random
Yes.
scrubs and birds randomly, right? But
Understood.
when you're sure of yourself, you just want that cooperation. And you might not express it as eloquently, but that's where it is we looking for because it's like, Dread, I have to get up 5 a.m. If the first thing I had to study is, boy, I had to make sure this girl have a she handbag and
Yeah.
I had to buy this. I remember she asked me for this and that. And again, I don't want the women listening to think they have to settle for a broke man or a man who don't have anything. What I'm trying to say is, the same way I want to add to you, you had to give me back
what
something.
pouring
Right?
into you as
So
well.
essentially, it's like when we had Richard here. You want someone who can stand in solidarity with you in the highs, the lows, the in betweens, and
Yeah,
that
as
kind of
long
thing.
as long as you see, and I also do subscribe to No Struggle Love, right? But I'm saying, bro, you are as an adult, you have to know if your man trying, dog. You had to know that if every time you link up with your friends, you explaining yourself more than talking. Generally, no, well he kind of do this last week and he kind of does it. You had to know, right? And if you're with somebody who trying and is most importantly treating you as an individual, allowing you to be yourself and treating you for what you would and taking you for what you would, you can't tell me that dying are priceless. Come on.
All right, guys,
Well
before we
said, well
continue,
said.
well
Comments,
said.
comments.
We want to finally take it over to the comments. I'm going to
I real
start from
talk,
the
my
top.
mouth dry, bro.
That's
I
all
want,
right.
I
That's
want
what you're
taking
here
this
for.
watermelon.
That's what you're here for.
We taking everything.
Yes,
every last
ladies, I
drop
hope
that
you all
we
are
get.
listening. Yeah, I hope you all are listening, ladies, and taking notes. As we said, Jamil is here as a sounding board for us, right? As well as an in-house rep for the men that are looking on. So let's start with the comments. We
Fellas,
have,
rate me any comments.
rate him, rate
Between
him.
1 to 5.
Let him know if he's doing a good job, guys. All right, so we have Judith Sosa saying good day to the 3 gorgeous ladies and blessings to you all. Hi, Judith.
I'm here as well, Judith.
Yes, Jamil says hi. We have Dennis Allen saying he's hearing us now. Apparently, we had some issues earlier.
Okay.
Larry Jackson said, good day, ladies, and to all the viewers. Hi, Larry.
Hi.
Gabby is here. She said, hi, lovelies.
Hi, Gabby.
Gabby, Jamil says a very good afternoon to you.
Yeah.
We have Tevin Jitua.
Yeah.
All right, I pronounced it good
boy.
this time. He is saying, Wagwan, ladies. Then we have somebody new. We have Krona Khan. Hello, Krona. Love the headbands. And we were going to get to the headbands, of course. Neicy, tell us a little bit about the headbands before we continue.
Guys, so, we are
Briefly.
wearing Kirby Young Designs new collection of turban headbands.
Yeah.
They come in a variety of colors, and this you notice Shawna is wearing the stripes. Krystal have some prints. I have one of black. I don't know why I choose black today. You're not really seeing it, but they also have a variety of floral patterns and stuff. So head across the Instagram at Kirby Young Designs. They come in packs of 3. You could pick and choose your different colors that you want and put them in a pack, and they're only for $40 TT.
Yes.
So get to them really quick because they're going very fast.
Yeah.
They're
going really
very
fast.
lovely,
You
guys.
see how they have like the twist.
Yes,
Yeah.
the turban
And the
effect.
big
really
enough, the
nice.
big enough to fit big head people like me. It was a little task, but it still fits.
Yes.
Yeah?
So as I said, they come in plain colors, so you get the black, whites. They come in stripes, and they come in prints, and they also come in floral patterns.
And a pack
So
of
head across-
3
Yes,
for
for
$40.
$40.
That's
You
a
can't
that's
go
a
wrong.
Across
bargain.
the Kirby Young Designs is a very, very talented fashion designer who is based in Trinidad, but he's Ghanaian. So definitely
Nice.
check him out.
And guys, there's elastic as well, so it's not
At
just
the
a
back.
plain. Where you're not sure if you're getting your measurement.
Yes, they have
there's
elastic.
elastic,
Yes.
so it fits nice. It can stretch and accommodate the head. My head is very small, and as Krystal mentioned, she said,
Big,
big.
big head.
It seems to work for everybody.
One size fits all.
Yes.
So big up to Kirby Young. Big up you. All right. Let's continue with the chat room, right? Thanks, sir. So Corona said she loved the headbands, of course. Gabby says, this is Gabby, by the way, loves. Loved
Yes,
being
of
on the show with you guys. We loved having you too, Gabby.
Definitely.
Yes. Jamila's
Lovely
quite
spirit.
happy that you're looking on.
Crystal, allow me. What do you? Crystal, allow me now, boy.
So happy. Katie C says, hi, queens. Hi. She said, hi, Jamil. You forgot professional clong in that bio. Yes.
Very true.
Well, we
First
touched
of
on
all,
that. He is a
I'm
professional
a
clown.
satirical writer. Let's stop it with this
Speaks
lowly
fluent
term
sarcasm.
of
Yeah.
clown.
Gabby went on to say, Hashim the Dream, one of the best young artists.
Yeah, big
out
him up in
there.
the beginning. That's my
Yes.
dog. That's my dog.
Derek Mitchell said, Cyan hair.
Hey.
Yes. Lendell Valdez said it's all about dominance in the end, talking about male privilege in general. Yes. Katie C says facts. It could be stemmed from further than that. Prehistoric times where survival against climates, animals, and other tribes are involved. The men fought and protected the women and the woman and the woman cared.
Yeah.
Same thing
Yeah,
Jamil
that's
was
what,
saying.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's
You
all the
can't
way back
Right,
to
that's when he spoke about the concubine.
Yeah.
it just it just went in different directions because that's where it started. As Katie said,
Evolution.
it was like, okay, we in prehistoric times here.
Yeah.
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the capitalist societies, your value became with your labor, and in the more village and cultural societies was more about your
Knowledge.
contribution and your knowledge to society, that
Yes.
kind of thing. But you still had a fight.
KTC went on to say ancient Egypt was matriarchal.
Yeah, that's what we said. When you
Yes.
say women in child, it's like you talking about ancient times.
Ancient
Yeah,
times.
ancient times for sure.
Gabby went on to say, unfortunately, the objectification of women is still prevalent in today's society.
Absolutely.
All right? We were talking about Andrea and
Yes.
whatnot. Larry Jackson said, sad to say, but something like that nearly happened to my sister while she was walking to work, but thank God nothing terrible happened. You see? Everyone has been touched by this.
Experience.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
I've had
every
one as well.
woman has had some form
Yeah.
of, instance where
Yeah,
she
1 in
was
4. 1 in
threatened.
4.
Yeah.
That's
Right?
a terrible statistic.
1 in 4.
Gabby went on to say, and instead of telling women to watch what you wear or don't go out late, etc., we should educate men to respect
Absolutely.
women and work through the emotions and mental issues that can cause violence.
Yeah, and I want to touch on that too.
Yes, please do.
I want to touch on how we talk about this problem. Well, this is my personal philosophy. I understand that protect our women is a nice slogan,
Yeah.
right? But you see, I feel like protect our women kind of separates men who do these kind of crimes as some sort of a hero and villain dynamic. And what I'm trying to say is there is no binary here. There is no description for what a hero is and what a villain is in this situation. So I understand that when you say protect your women, it kind of absolves you from saying, okay, well, there are these bad elements out there. It's my job to protect. When in reality, it's more about education right now. Because if you look at any statistics, most women who suffer abuse is at the hands of somebody they know. So then who is that now? Is that a villain still? Was that not a trusted person? What description does that individual fill? And a lot of times it is be a brethren.
Yes, definitely.
A lot of times it is be a brethren. So when you put this dynamic of protect all women that you stand up to, even my brethren, he just had a moment though. He's not a villain. That takes the humanity out of the problem. You're dealing with a human being, dog. So this protect all women slogan, I don't necessarily agree with it fully.
Right.
Yes, I will stand up for a woman, but I will more or less stand up for anybody, dog. You understand what I'm saying? If it is I could. But that whole hero villain thing, it's not real. Save that for the DC and the MCU.
Yeah.
You have to come out and start to really take the problem from a practical angle. And if it is that trusted people in society are committing the atrocities, then you have to talk. You can't be you're not it's not a woman problem anymore, it's a man problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that protector women
Because
thing
the
is
men, you have to be
cute,
now-
but
Yes, you have to be now able to say, like, if you know your friend fits that stereotype, that description, you as a man should be able to say, dog, you're wrong for that, and talk to him as a man to a man, not because he's your friend and you know he just raped a girl.
Yeah.
You're gonna stand by
No,
him.
and
A
I'm-
lot of
and I'm-
guys
and
remain
I'm-
silent, knowing
but not
that
only
their friends.
that, not only that, I feel like personally, groups and social circles accept these people back real quick.
Very quickly.
Because just the other day, an individual was outed on social media in a big way for beating his girlfriend.
I saw that.
But he liming real normal.
Yeah.
He liming real normal.
Said something was going to boycott and all these things, but
Nah, but that'll never happen. That boycotting, we're too small of a country. Forget that forget boycotting, period. We are too small of a country.
People were vilifying the girl. For
Yes.
Right, that's a normal thing. That's a normal thing. But my point is, it's an allegation.
Yes.
So we're not saying it's true or false.
but that's the
But the
way
bottom
they
line is,
felt it.
it's very comfortable to just go back and lime, dog.
Yes.
Man, girl, everybody talking to you as if nothing happened. So what is the real consequence? You have to, and when you now go back to this villain hero thing where, nah. He cool, he probably just had a moment.
Yeah.
The real problem is out there. The man who driving the taxi and this and that. The people, the faceless villains who you have to protect your women from. Now, bro, they're right in front of your face.
Yeah.
And that is very difficult for a lot of people to accept.
Yeah.
I guess it boils down to the fact that they, bringing them back into the fold stems from the fact that, hey, I wasn't there. We don't know what really happened. It was an allegation, like you
Yeah.
say. We don't have the facts. So until proven guilty, let's bring him back. I think that is what that is the stance that a lot of people take, you know, and that's why it's so easy for accused people or men to get back into society
Well,
like
all right.
normal.
And that's what I'm saying. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. I just wanted to say one thing, but go ahead.
One of the comments where I'm not sure who mentioned, but when we spoke about being able to wear certain clothes and not be sexually
That was
harassed.
Gabi.
And I remember having a conversation in my group. So it was a group of friends, and we had ended up being a big bacchanal because, you know, some people will take it from the religious perspective and have certain conversations. But what I did mention, or what I did think about, is when you think about the woman, and this ties into what Jamil says, is usually the persons who are closest to you are the ones who doing the harm. Because when you think about women who wear short clothes and things, I talk about my friends, right? I have some friends, they come out in their short top and their short pants, and when they step out, so you are not going anywhere near them. I guarantee you, they could be in the shortest shorts, but they have such a rugged, you understand what I mean? Such a rugged persona that men, I guarantee you, they might be the man.
Yes.
So short clothes, it's not the contributing factor.
Yeah,
Because
we know
I'm
that.
telling you, the short clothes girl will beat you.
We know, but we know
the
that.
girl
Monkey know what trees
the
to climb.
modest girl who is in the longest dress, as Jamil mentioned, is going to be a target because she's there. She's
Yeah,
a
that's
friend of the
proven. That's
family,
proven long time
It's
that
about
it
control.
never mattered
we
what
still have this
you wear.
argument, you know, it's still
You see,
a
you see,
current argument.
and this is the thing, right? And so this is what I was going to mention
Yeah.
when we talk about allegations and all this thing, right? Again, if you are truly concerned about the issue, it's real easy to pick up on a fellow who have problematic, as the word is, thoughts.
Yeah.
If I talk into a fellow and I say, let me take for instance, right? We talking about the Tinder swindler, right? He's a Tinder swindler.
We covered that in the previous episode.
I know. That was only the first episode, I think. Yeah.
Well, okay.
They got you.
Right? The Tinder swindler. Nah, just tune in, man. I have respect. I take the Tinder swindler, right? Me and a couple of my friends were talking about it, right? And Simon Leviev, at the end of the day, is a criminal, though.
Yes.
Man is a fraud, right?
Yes.
He committed fraud. Regardless of whether those girls shallow or not, he committed fraud, right? So we talking, and so I hold the opinion that at the end of the day, we live in a society that rewards this kind of shallow behavior. Yes, love is the thing that is lock you in, but that lifestyle is really the leverage that would get you in, right? So I would say that, granted, Simon is a criminal. I don't necessarily feel 100% sorry for being locked in by something like that, because you get swindling by a lifestyle, which is why you get swindled in the first place. So that the second girl was partying in Greece, you on student loans and you getting on, so that's madness. I wouldn't necessarily feel sorry for a person like that. But the bottom line is, another fella in the group was like, nah, them girl on them is imsos. That's why I had to put them in a corner, and you know. From the time a man started to talk like that, you know you had to talk to him. From the time somebody opened him out like that, you know you have to talk to him.
Yeah.
Them girl and them now. That way you had to treat them girl and them like M's dog. You see what this do? Them girl in Dubai and blah. From the time you see that angst and that anger and that kind of
Yes.
rise of emotion after a topic like this, especially when we're talking about, you know, the perception that women just get real easy out here and we fellas just are a struggle and thing. That is bother a lot of men. It have real studies to show right now that, you know, there's one written in October 2021 where they was just given a study in America about sample size. I don't know. I think it was like 500,000 where a lot of men just single, living with their parents. Their 2019 salary was the same as somewhere around 1993 versus women are earning more versus in that period of time. So protector provider roles, man in the house, all these roles are being diminished, and these fellas are going through serious existential angst as to who they are and who I am to be and where do I fit in the society. And when they see these kind of things happen, they say, yeah, good for them, girl, and them, because they get through, you know, they don't have to do nothing and we are the blah. So there's a real male identity crisis, and I think that is where a lot of things to go into a dark place is stem from. Because and in my last point on this, I have a friend. She is an excellent designer, and she exists within a very pop culture space. And I remember we talking, and you know, I was telling her, yeah, boy, man single out here, chilling. And she was like, that's by choice or something. And I was like, well, me no, but I ain't getting through. But she said, listen, you can't hit me with that talk, but I know fellas who actually just not getting through. No matter what they try, they just not getting, and they have no strong friend group. they have real trouble with communication, whether it's with women or friends, and fellas like them sometimes become the most vulnerable to go into a place where, nah boy, I go and start to devalue these people.
Yep.
And in America, they had the term that's called incels, where involuntary celibate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we are incels in this small country, but she is letting me know that no matter what these fellas try, they're just not getting through. And it have fellas who will be getting through and still have that kind of mentality, but those the guys are not getting through with the women that they really want, and all these different things. So it's not nice. And I think the elements that probably exist in some of our media really do help. Because now when you listen to any kind of popular music, it seems like it's supposed to get you like nothing.
Yes.
It kind of seems like it's just supposed to fall in your face.
Seems like nothing in this life.
Yeah, it's supposed to, man, this is supposed to fall in your face. What's going on here? I did everything that's required. I'm in a chain. I'm on the boat ride. I'm wearing the shoes.
Yes.
How am I not getting through? This is angering me. And that's when you come now with the violent approaches and I'm to this girl, I don't care about she anyway. And
I had a question from something you said earlier, and I'm losing my train of thought, but it was a really good point when we were talking about addressing the situation, like talking to men and training, like in terms of like with the mental stuff. And what came up to mind in terms of, for me, the question I wanted to ask along the lines of is like, what does the rehabilitation process of that look like? Because, for example, look at the example with Nicki Minaj and her husband, right? And then when that situation came up, stuff that he did almost 20 years ago, whatever, came back to the forefront like it happened yesterday. So how do we address that in terms of somebody does something, pay the dues or whatever? I'm not saying that's the case with him. I'm just talking like generally. And then they enter back into society, but we still holding them like that.
So listen, when we talk about male privilege, we have to delve into the area of the male disadvantages, right?
Okay.
We won't talk about that, but within male privilege, going back to Warren Farrell's book, he has an excellent quote. He said, "Women's facade of weakness is their greatest strength, while men's facade of strength is their greatest weakness." So what he basically is saying there is that in a society where women could flip the victim card anytime, a man is usually perceived as two things: invisible or dangerous, by default. So we are living in an existence, most men are living in an existence where you get no attention or bad attention. Versus, and there are studies that have shown that it could be more emotionally damaging to get attention that you don't want versus never getting attention at all. And going back to your point, with tying it back to your point with this rehabilitation period, we have to understand that men have to toe a line with proven innocence at every time, and we're a society that has not dealt with that just yet. So I truly don't have a definite answer, because we do that to men like Chris Brown thing all the time, where wherever, but hey, why let this one beater be in this constant? Man, that was how much ever years ago. Has he changed? Do you know if he changed? So I mean, he could be dangerous, and that's enough. But sadly, we still have ourselves to blame as men, because we are creating a society where women don't just live in, they have to survive it. And as long as that exists in our ether, that victim card will always pop up, because you as a man, you always strong. You could always be dangerous anytime you want, which is our greatest weakness, was what Warren Farrell was saying, right?
I love that point that you brought up, because I mean, we kind of watching that playoff right now with the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial right now. You know what I mean? And the fact that she had everybody against Johnny Depp for some time, playing the victim card. And then only when he was able to prove himself with hardcore, undeniable evidence, which was the only way, because nobody would have believed him ordinarily, is when everybody flipped and realized that he was actually the victim.
Good person.
You know, and it's sad in a sense.
Yeah, and being in my own situation with that, like, the way I handled it was always in the thought to the back of my mind, like, bro, nobody's going to believe if you say something, so like,
you were in this
deal with
position.
It. Yeah, absolutely. And thing is, again, I never, jumped on social media to badmouth any ex, which I will never do. But in a situation where Homegirl was trying to hide her infidelity, she used to make issues of the smallest things, which was the common tactic to throw the emotional abuse on me. So Homegirl would try to hit me, and there was a time where she hit me and bent her wrist, and who had to ice it after me? Because at the end of the day, she gone back to being a victim. Easily. You strong, so I bend my wrist on your thing. I sit.
It's your fault.
I'm
right?
sorry.
It's my
to
fault
hear
now.
that, Jimmy.
You understand? So that is what men have to deal with in their own. And one more quote from Mr. Milpo. I didn't even read the whole book, but I just remember these things, right? He said, the patriarchy, while believed to have created male privilege, actually created male destruction, because you're saying that through the patriarchy we have what we call male disposability, where. So he talking about wartime, right? 'Cause again, this dude is born in 1943. This is at the end of World War II. World War II kind of ended in 1945. So he looking at, look how we send men to die in the war. We don't call this sexism. Look how men dying in the labor force. We don't call that nothing. He brought us a quote. He said, he observed that a woman's life is my body, my choice, but a man's life is how to do what you how to do. So he was talking about male disposability. So he's trying to bridge this privilege versus power, where granted I have the privilege to go and walk in the savannah at night. I don't wake up on a morning and say, wait boy, I really feeling to live because I can walk in the savannah at night, dog. I feel good about this fact. That's the thing. But again, I will always go back to, we have a problem with violence, and before I delve into anything about male rights and disposability and this and that, I genuinely believe we have to deal with that first, because we cannot have women in society surviving, dog.
Yeah, boy.
That
That's
dying
what
good.
it feels like.
Dying good.
All right. So listen, guys, we have talked for about an hour and a half without even realizing it, without even stopping. I just want to finish the chat because we know it's all about our viewers at this point. So let me finish that. Jamil, feel free to touch.
No, I ain't going to talk because
feel free to respond
I'm
briefly
rambling, but I'm
on
so
anything
sorry.
anyone says. And after that, we'll take maybe one or two more scenarios and then go to break, all right? Because, guys, clearly we can't go through all. You know what I mean? For time constraints. But this is probably a topic that we may have to revisit, all right? Well, let me continue. Right, so Katie C said, so sorry you all had to go through these experiences. King Stony One says, we live in a... Hello, King Stony One. I think that's a new viewer. Hello to you.
Hi, welcome.
We live in a society that promotes unhealthy relations. We have social norms that promote the objectification of women, especially here in TNC. We hear that, King Stoney. KDC goes on to say, I was now about to reference Cardi B, Nicki, and Megan. King Stoney went on to say, women don't have to have game to get through. That's a good point, right? King Cap?
You had a game for me.
You had to have game for Jamil.
Yeah, sure.
I know what
If you can hold a conversation, boy, you're done, boy. I want to hear.
Yes, we could tell.
I know where he's going, but that doesn't apply to all men.
Nah.
Because you have to appeal to them emotionally on some level.
That's correct. Keystone goes on to say, men need game for everything. What do you feel about that? Cap too or no?
Now, you see, game is defined as what? What you say? Not only no. Correct. No, but so you need that. If the game is everything, it was Sprite say image is everything. No, image is not. That's a lie. Image is nothing is a lie. Biggest lie ever.
All right, we'll continue. Larry says men like women who don't have any set of standards and requirements.
What? Who's that?
Is that true?
I guess
Larry, we don't agree with that.
That's when he was talking about like the access. I don't think that's what you. I can't the quick access.
I can't recall the context.
Well, we were at a point where we were talking about a Z skill versus a classic skill, and he was saying,
I think it's the access.
Again, this is. I don't care. This is men who not getting through. I'm telling you. But I'm telling you. Listen, after a while, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, it's like it had to have more, boy.
Yeah.
If you stuck there, you have a problem.
Yeah.
You have an actual problem. You need to see a therapist, because you can't tell me that everything that fall in your lap, you had that Phil syndrome, that fall in lap syndrome. Anytime you had I had a virgin that's fall in lap syndrome. I had a listen, and I don't want to make out nobody, but that's a term I come up with. Yeah, that's not. I had two terms that we go deal with that. That's a term I come up with amongst my brethren. I had a brethren who I said, but bro, they just falling in your lap, dog. You're a Phil, dog. But it was proper things, guys. You know, it was proper girls. But the point is, that mentality for me, then the same thing with body count. With some men care about body count. Them is men who not getting through. I am telling you, dog. Because you must know as a man, you're approaching a woman, mean like she, or I don't like she, and you're going for a reason.
Yes.
There are some in conversations with at least my male groups that I believe diverse, right? Because I am from the hood. You understand? I know it don't come across as that, but fam, I grew up in Laventille and we don't play. Yeah, I put the TH for spite.
The hood.
Right? And after a while, the conversations start to go to a point where I'm looking for a girl to do something more. As I say, you might be able to articulate it properly. But when you see a certain woman, and you'll be like, I'm not going to go wrong her because I feel she want a relationship. I'm sure you have heard men say that, Shawna. Because you're gauging, bro. You're gauging. You have a certain amount of experience. So you look at a woman and say, all right, I feel she want relationships. I'm not going to bother with she. I'll go with this girl instead because she on fun. Right? So to say that you specifically like women with zero standards is you not getting through right now, period. So you want a zero standard thing. You understand? Larry.
I always used to say filling gaps as well. You have to play the field one woman after the next,
and which one sticks.
And not necessarily which one sticks.
Oh my God, no.
Something is wrong with you. So you do it to fill gaps. You fill in a little hole or something.
Right, okay, right. No, right.
Yeah.
No, I thought you said you have to fill the gap and see who's sticking. I get you.
That's what they do. They fill gaps.
Yeah, of course.
And a man who's gotten to a different point and he has evolved to recognize that he doesn't need that.
Absolutely.
Because it has some men I know, they now break up here, and by next week they're not, because they can't be alone.
Serial dating. So guys, I hope you are listening in. I hope you are learning and taking away some key points. We're dropping some gems right here, right now today on Guys' Perspective. Right? We're gonna continue.
One.
You have one? Well, let's finish with the chat. We have Sion Burbal saying good evening, everyone. Sorry for being late. Hi. We have She Leaves. Roll call. I too am late. Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, She Leaves. Keystone went on to say, you'll need more than one dude for this one. Trust me. Guys, remember to call us at 466 for O.U.R.
And share the live.
Yes, 466-4687. Call us too. Let's have a chat with Jamil and the rest of us. Shilly's went on to say there are some men who care about a body count though.
Right, and that's the men who not getting through.
And Jamil believes that's the men who not getting through. Yeah. KTC went on to say, I've had a guy ask me my body count.
All right, did he get through?
The message still have 2 great ticks.
Okay.
He did not get through.
Okay. Right? This is what I'm saying. Oh
yes.
God. This is what you see. I am in that pear, boy. I really need hot box today.
That pear is delicious. Should I continue?
Yeah, man, Neicy, appreciate
You're going to say something, Jamil?
No, that's it. Yeah, many pear and hot box.
Yes, we take care of our own right here at Island Girl Talk.
Wait now, what body part is the pear emoji? Let me move on. Stop it, Neicy.
Or the boobies.
Stop it.
I think it's buns.
Pear-shaped boobies.
Listen, it wasn't meant to be answered. Stop it.
Okay, well, let's go say that.
We're veering off. We have Jared Gomez saying a man's level of insecurity or confidence has a strong impact on how a relationship will work. Yeah? Should I get nothing to say about that?
No, I agree with that point fully, bro. Like you can't be unsure of yourself and trying to jump in with the hot girl them, you'll lose.
Gabby goes on to say, to be honest, I think if men would state what they're looking for, it would be easier.
Stop it, Gabby.
Meaning, if you are looking for a hookup, say
Gabby,
so.
stop right there.
Or when I say I'm looking for a relationship, don't lead me on.
Yeah. Gabby, stop right there.
Oh, well, he's switching shades, guys.
Gabby, stop right
She
there.
said, don't lead me on when it's not what you want, and you just want a hookup.
Here we're going on. That is true.
Shades. He has shades.
I have never encouraged or praised when my brethren make a girl feel that he wants a relationship just to get through. That is nonsense.
Yes, it is.
But please stop with this. If you're just a hookup, say that. Because A, it don't work, B, it don't work, and C, it don't work.
It's true.
Let me tell you something.
It's true.
I have lived for a couple years after my breakup. I was like, yo, I'm not. Romance is dead right now. I want. Where's the absolute zero? Not even speed. I was in my hole. I was chilling. A lot of people was asking me, bro, I actually stopped taking a haircut. I don't even want to be any kind of appealing. Stop. You remember when Shawna, when I had one star here and bare and everything? Serious thing.
I didn't even know that's a face men go through.
I don't know if it's a man face, but I just stopped. I went in a hole. No, but listen, I even moved to different places and didn't tell nobody. It pop up Cascade and I pop up Diego Martin. So I was done. So my point is, I would have told women, yo, right now, You You're not getting no kind of romance
Yes.
out of me at all, so don't bother, right?
Yeah.
If you're on casual thing, and then they would say, sure, no problem. And then in a
You
month
hear
or
from
2 or
them.
3 is, but wait, my feelings grew. I thought yours was growing as well, and I said, hold on. I said, no, it's not going to happen. And again, we go back to the flipping the victim card. But how you could do this to me? But we had a conversation,
Yeah.
and you said that you would be honest. But like I just say,
I think Richard
girls is-
called that the power.
That's a
Girls
woman
is-
thing. They
Yeah.
all think
yeah,
that
but
they can
women,
fix the guy.
yeah, but what I'm
change
saying is
their
women is
minds.
also chat you up to get in your drawers too. That's what all in us saying.
Wait,
Because
what?
and the thing all
It
in this
is
promise
truly-
first. And the thing all in this promise first is now you have nothing to worry about, no feelings. And then as soon as you get in a man drawers, good, I get him there.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
No, just rest
They
it
want
often
it
and you go
too.
get
I mean,
feelings.
come on, we human.
You
We-
can't tell me
For it,
how it foreign.
But
You
so
see.
you can't want to get in a man drawers. I know I do.
want more. I want it more. I am
Yes.
the one who wants
Yeah,
it
well,
more.
right. Okay, so what I'm saying is,
Uh-huh.
some women, guys, that under, nah, I don't want nothing serious,
Oh, no,
just to get,
Yeah.
bro. And
Exactly.
and I'm not saying this offer like what I think.
Yeah.
So a woman admitted that to me.
Yes.
She said I was literally just sticking around for you to change your mind.
Yeah.
She was honest enough to tell me that. Yes, Z. So we move. I'm taking off the shades.
All right.
Gabi, I love you very much
Seems
still,
to be-
right?
we have a call. Yay! Hello, welcome to Island Girl Talk.
Oh, radio, you're live.
Hey, what's up? How you all doing?
Yes,
Good.
we're doing well. Who's this?
This is Janet.
I'm not hearing you so
We're not
much.
We're not hearing
Hold
you. The rain is pouring, actually. Stay
I think,
tuned.
I think
Yeah.
you said Dennis.
Seriously. This is Janet.
Hi,
How you all doing?
Dennis. Hi, how are you, Dennis?
Hey. Good. I was listening to this conversation. I had a couple of comments on the
Yes.
the chat as well as a center comment there. What's this guy's name?
This is Jamil
What's his
Belrond, a.k.a. J
Oh,
Revolution.
that is Jamil, bro. What you seen, Dennis? Respect.
Hey, Jamil, what's up, man? I don't know that last comment you say about that don't say the what is if you want the thing, just actually
Yeah,
thing.
that's nonsense. That's that's nonsense,
Well,
Dennis. We know that.
That will work for you, bro.
No, that doesn't work, period, Dennis.
It's working for me. I don't know. I'll say this, right? Look, I'll say this, right? A lot of the conversation that I heard so far is the kind of conversation that women want to hear. But the reality of it is this. The women want, don't think that way. The women want, make the rules. It doesn't matter. They could be broke, they could be rich, they could be driving plane, they could be driving garbage truck, it don't matter. The men who make the rules are the men that the women want. That is biology. The men, that's why if you're going to the ghetto, it's the baddest goons getting all the hottest girls. That's just fact. You know why? Because second-rate men, their opinions don't count.
Because what?
And what's further,
Second-rate man.
Okay.
second-rate men, their opinions don't count.
We
What
going into
women in this modern society have started to understand and adapt is those rules that men would have played by amongst men, and now women are applying those rules to men, mostly unsuccessfully. But that has become more of the general society now. So you start to see the cancel culture. What is the cancel culture about?
We're going into Kevin Samuel's territory here.
Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, his friend, his colleague, his professional colleague, for a girl that listening on your own kitchen table.
Thank you.
I feel like this is different. I want to say that this is
No,
different.
my point is, bro, we will always have different opinions, but I call it in here. My point is that
True.
amongst men, the rules that we have for ourselves, the original thing about the show is male privilege. Privilege is something that you get. What if you creating this whole thing? If I creating the system, if I am the only person who is bleeding in war, why don't I have rights and peace? You understand? So when men create a system and then women come into that system, right? Because even if you look at it biblically, who created first? Even if you look at it from a genetic point of view, women, all right, okay, women, you can do everything on your own except we say There are a lot of things, but women need to understand that this world doesn't work with women's perspective only. Men are in the room, and men need to be in the room. This conversation, as great as it is a feminine perspective, not a female perspective, a feminine perspective. But that's just my point.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I
Let
gotta
me
disagree.
respond to that.
That's fine. That's fine.
In
You want me to
terms,
speak on why- Yeah, okay, go ahead.
I don't mind you sticking around and
Right.
say, because, go ahead,
I
go ahead,
think
Krystal.
that he may have a point when he says, I don't agree that it is from a feminine perspective, because quite frankly, this is not a feminist show. This is Island Girl Talk, and it's a
No,
platform
I
for
didn't say
women.
feminist.
Yes, but
I didn't
it's
say feminist.
feminine.
I said feminine.
It is from a woman's perspective, because as we have stated, guys' perspective is here for women to understand men more. That's the whole purpose of this particular show that we have for the men, right? It's not to man bash. It's not to have it be women against men. This is for us to learn and to have teachable moments for women so we can understand you guys better. Yeah, so you are correct.
Okay.
It is from a woman's, it is for our benefit why we're having this conversation, and we are addressing it from a woman's perspective. We stated that earlier in the show.
Okay, hold on. That's fine. Okay. I want to make a distinction between a woman's perspective, a feminine perspective, and a feminist perspective.
Yeah, we ascertain that you meant feminine.
What I am hearing is feminine, not feminist, and not necessarily women. There are a lot of different women. There's a spectrum of women in society that is, let's be honest, not represented on the three of you all. You all are, let's be honest here, YouTube is not going mainstream. You all is baggages. You all have your own thing going. You all are not the typical women.
Okay.
Right? Nobody on the panel there need any man support to stand up. And that changes a lot.
Well,
Okay?
Dennis, Dennis,
No, road here.
no, Dennis is not going around. Dennis, no, I understand what Dennis is coming from, but the reason why I'm disagreeing with a feminine perspective, let's start with how the conversation is going. I am being asked questions as to why I think male privilege exists in society in a certain way. He said privilege is something that you're given. No, privilege is something that you're born with, right? And further to that, me responding to Krystal and they in a manner where, okay, I am empathizing and understanding what they are saying, and I'm saying, okay, is this way for a reason. Yes, I am not mentioning things like, well, the traditional provider protector rules still exist, and women still very much gravitate to that, and there are traditional rules that women seem to pick and choose from. But if you try to flip those traditional rules on women, they would say you're too old and you're too archaic and you're too this and that. That exists, but that's not what we're talking about. So to say that I or anybody is talking from a feminine perspective is inaccurate, because we're not talking about what you're talking about. If we were to talk about now, Jamil, give me your opinion on how men exist in society. We are talking about how male privilege affects women, not how men assimilate themselves and their identity in society.
Exactly.
So I have to talk from a compassionate perspective if I have to be fair, because one, I am not a woman and I would never understand a woman's situation, and two, I don't share the same experiences, whether it be somebody who identifies as a woman or somebody who was born a woman. On the entire spectrum, I will never get it. So I have to try to be compassionate. So I cannot possibly have a feminine perspective simply because I have not lived that experience. So your topic is something completely different.
Yeah.
And I want to touch on something he said where, like, how women choose sexual partners and stuff these days. Let me explain something to you all. The Austin Institute did a study that they call the economics of sex. You can go look it up on YouTube. And their information basically states that women started to get more liberated with sex because of the birth control pill. And that's because that before, women had the risk of getting easily trapped in a pregnancy situation by men who just while in. You understand what I'm saying? So there are so many factors, not just provider, protector, and blah, 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 that are going into the kinds of decisions women are making today. And I could go on and on. Well, they cannot beat me with facts. Don't even study that. Right?
Yeah.
I could go on and on.
Well said.
But that was the starting point of women's sexual liberation.
Birth control.
Contraceptives.
Yeah.
That was the start, but that's what they found in their research, right?
Yeah.
And to be honest, it makes sense because really and truly, you get a woman pregnant, you kind of lock off for a little while, and
Yeah.
a man could bounce on do whatever you want, and you know what I mean. Abortions at that point still were probably very dangerous and all these different things. So
It was Dennis.
Well said.
So Dennis, I cannot have a feminine perspective.
Yeah.
Well said, Jamil. Dennis,
Yeah, I'm here, sir. What's up?
any response?
So that, well, if that's what you want to believe, you know, you're entitled to that. Honestly,
I
though,
would.
the idea of sexual liberation being part of the modern phenomena of women and female independence, that is one of the key elements, for sure. But look at Trinidad, right? Look at the CPAP salaries, look at the CPAP worker, look at the average CPAP person. Because the government interventions have allowed women to take care of their basic needs, they are now saying, well, if a man comes to me, you have to come with my higher level needs, and maybe even in my wants, because I can handle my own stuff. Look at who those women are. A lot of those women are single mothers, right? A lot of those women are women who have left relationships for whatever reason. I don't think the answer, right? But when you try to talk to someone like that low end of the market, and of course, statistically, there are many, many more women compared to the women on this panel, right? So the difference between educational achievement, social status, earning income, earning potential, total income, those are things that add up to a social standing in the world. When you look at the bottom, what the bottom of the ladder is saying and what the bottom of the ladder is doing, right? Most of the girls in Trinidad and Tobago are not on birth control. Most of the women, because of Trinidad's very traditionalist and conservative cultural past, I should say. Most women are very against abortion. So when you hear a lot of the things that apply in international main big city markets and metropolitan, cosmopolitan cities and metropolitan city markets, it doesn't apply necessarily to Trinidad and Tobago. Do we have data?
Dennis,
No.
I hear you, Dennis, but again, I know what we're talking about. I know what we're talking about, and I hear you. And Dennis, it would be good to consider that even though there are some women, at the right at the bottom of the spectrum, it's been proven in many social studies that some women use the having children as some sort of security in poorer communities as a fact. But that's a whole different topic. And even when we talk about birth control and PCOS and all these different things, whole different topic, Dennis. So I hear what you're saying, but I mean the ladies could chime in and say, but that what you're saying is a different, because you're talking about social class here, and you're talking about how women, how sexism actually affects levels of poverty, which is something that we could prove even in Trinidad and Tobago, and which leads to things like disproportionate acts of violence, all these different things.
Let me just jump in one last point here. Privilege starts at the top. So the conversation about privilege could only start at the top. You can't talk about privilege with poor, underrepresented, disenfranchised, silent majority. You cannot. You have to talk about the 1%.
Privilege is usually recognized by the man at the bottom.
But
in
what
many
can they do about
instances.
it? What can they do about it? Nothing.
I still feel this is economic and social class we're talking about.
I feel we may have to invite Dennis on another show.
I was not going to say that. I think we had to invite Dennis to go further with this.
That's a good topic though.
I'm listening. Thank you very much for taking the call.
Yeah, Dennis, respect.
Dennis, before you go, we want to thank you though for calling in, yes, and addressing this topic with us. Of course, we veered off a little bit and we went into avenues that we weren't prepared to speak about today for time constraints. But you know what? I'm gonna give you a call. It would be nice to have you on the show in the future.
Definitely.
All right, but thank you so much for the call. We enjoyed it. We love it.
Yeah, Dennis, respect.
All right. Guys, listen, we are really going over time. We've already used up our 2 hours. However, I need to finish the chat because this show is about our audience.
Yeah.
I'll finish it. Jamil, if you need to respond to anything, do so briefly. All
Nah,
right?
I go lower. Just
All
run
right.
through the chat.
So I need to continue.
Saturday, June 4th.
Before I continue, though, we want to get you guys in on something. O.U.R Radio is going to have their annual anniversary, their anniversary party. You don't want to be redundant here. We're going to have their anniversary party. First, what is it, the first year? Yes, on June 4th. And we are inviting everyone to come partake. It is free of charge, but
And
we
it's
are
at Silhouettes?
giving it's at Silhouettes in Valsayn, but we are giving preference to our viewers, our followers, our fans. All right, we will be sharing in the future just how you guys can get in. Yes. But know that there's going to be a lot of performances, a lot of artists, well-known local artists, and all these things. It's going to be a movie, guys. So stay tuned for more info coming up soon. All right? June 4th, O.U.R Radio Anniversary Party. We're going to continue with the chat, and when we're done, we're going to try and wrap up and go through the rest of the show as quickly as we can for y'all, all right? So let's continue. Jared Gomez says, good job, Jamil. I think excellent job, Jamil. We picked a really good one today. Excellent job. She says, Katie, I don't blame you now. That chat had an archive one time. They call me Navy. He says, easy Jamil.
I'm a dog, Navy. Big up Navy.
Easy Jamil. 5 points for the man them. Right? We have a call?
Yeah.
All right. Let's take it one time. I'm not hearing the phone ringing. That's why.
Hello?
Hello, caller. Welcome to Island Girl Talk.
Hi, greetings everybody.
What's your name? and where
I
you
go by
calling
LJ.
from?
Big up LJ. Big up
LJ, I'm
LJ.
calling from California.
Ooh.
USA.
Big up LJ.
Cali in the
I
house.
I know you guys trying to move forward, so I just want to be brief. I don't want to take up much time. I just really wanted to touch on something Jamil had mentioned when you all were speaking on everybody being upfront about what it is they want and the difficulties with that. Being that everybody have their own agenda. Women typically, if they're interested, they want some more long term, and guys might fake that they want something long term to get the short term, and vice versa. And I just wanted to call you to say that I had a similar conversation with some friends in a PSN party, and I was saying, boy, I just tell the truth, and since I started telling the truth, it's real vibe. You understand? It's more success, let's say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And they were arguing me down, and then one of my friends who I went to school with, he was like, Smithy, you talking from the perspective of a good-looking fella. He say, fam, regular men and ugly men cannot do what
LJ,
you say.
do we have a clap sound effect for LJ? because yo, and again, it is a very different existence for men who not getting through. I'm telling you all. So LJ is on point. That you see, even not to cut you, LJ, but even when when I was brave enough to say, "Girl, you're not getting a romance out of me," this is me telling the truth, and it would still quote unquote work. But I had to ask, well, why did this work? Why do other men still feel that I lie? So LJ, go through, bro. You're talking facts.
No, because what I realized is after a while, and because I ain't not gonna lie, I just listen to a lot of Red Pill stuff, but I also listen. I try to be balanced and listen to women shows and stuff, hence I hear and different stuff, so I don't end up veering too far to whether it's left, right,
not too much, not too much fresh
try
and
to
fit.
stay balanced.
Not too much fresh and fit.
Yeah,
And
good. I
Kevin
don't listen to them
Samuels.
at all.
Gone through.
What to do is a thing where, you all spoke about standards earlier. And women have their own standards, men have the standards, and everybody individually would have specifics, right? But a lot of these standards women say they have, and they do have, these standards exist for certain people. Me personally, I just get to bypass a lot of that. But what I will say is, the long term, these standards will dominate because you can get through and you'll have fun with a person and you might have something short term, but after all, the niceties of the outside start to fade, then you realize, wait, the women realize, wait now, so you making as much money as I wanted to make, you ain't doing certain things in the status I wanted to. And then all of a sudden now you realize, wait, things fade and it's finished. But most guys don't care to go past that.
Okay.
So, the standards do exist, but it's
more for the long term.
It's unfair and it's unjust. It's a long-term thing with standards that I've experienced with women. The standards is more of a long-term thing. I don't know if you all feel that way. Or if it's a subconscious thing.
Of course, if it's a girl just want to play, she's not going to hold it to the highest standard. Absolutely not. It's only when they want something serious is when they will come in with, like Neicy and thing. There's work with your SAT paper and all kind of thing, making man sign evaluation, all kind of thing. I tell you, what I did Neicy at some point, you reach.
I even have a response.
You have a response yesterday.
Take it for the
I just want to know what you all think about that, you ladies. Like, do you experience that? Because I know, like with me, some of my standards is a subconscious thing, and sometimes you don't know why you just you feel like you're falling out of love with a person. They didn't do nothing different than they used to do, but you can't put your finger on it. That type of thing. So sometimes it might be subconscious. But like, do you guys feel kind of like that, or is it that it sounds completely foreign? Like,
no, I don't really.
I could relate to what you're saying, and you also shed light on some things that we didn't consider. So that's true.
I feel like I've had that experience before as well.
I feel so as well.
Well said.
In fact, I know I have.
Don't be ashamed.
I'm telling you, see, when we talk about the economics of courting on social media, really and truly, and it also pretty privilege exists. Right? Men experience pretty privilege. LJ sounds like a pretty guy. So if LJ getting through and thing. So I'm saying, watch a woman is talking about 6 foot kings and all these different things. Like me being 6'2", already I know I have a leg up. You know what I mean? Something as simple as that. So you see, beauty standards is a whole next conversation because we had to talk about mental colonization and blah blah. We going far
everything
and
we
going far, but LJ make a good point and I appreciate.
Thanks for calling.
Thanks for calling, my brother.
I just wanted to say that big up Kali. I'll just stop back in on the YouTube then now. Thanks for asking.
Bro, you're from Trinidad or you're from Cali?
From LA. Well,
I'm from Trinidad, but
because I was saying
California.
Word, bro. Respect.
Big up LJ. Thank you for calling all the way from Cali. Yes, we love it. We here for it.
Man, artist, big up LJ.
Guys, we're going to continue with the chat room. We have to. We are obligated to our viewers to read out their comments. Yeah? All right. So we're going to continue. Right. Right. So King's
But put on Filippo.
Don't study Jamil there trying on glasses.
So King Stoney 1 says 17 people watching. Well, actually it's 23 now, and 5 likes. Hit that like button, y'all. Guys, yes. Thank you so much, King Stoney. Guys, share the live, like the live. You understand? We want the more the merrier. We want to chat with you. We want to see more people interacting and joining the conversation. So click that like button, subscribe, and all the works. We're gonna continue. LJ said here, if you're notoriously loose, then I cannot commit there, personally. Strictly fun. However, don't ever ask about body count. Right. Agreed. Agreed. I don't mind that. I'm not mad at that. Lendell says, I was cooking and I had to stop because Jamil making sense. We need more men like him. Let me get Jamil some snaps now. We ain't getting some snaps for the day. We ain't getting some snaps. Right?
Lendell? Valdez?
Big up you.
Big up you. Big up you.
Cyan Burble says, great advertising.
For what, boy?
No, I think he was talking about King Stoney, who was like, share and like the live.
No, we will only hope.
LJ says, Jamil articulates his thoughts well.
LJ, we can be brethren, boy. LJ hit up the chat. Let me link.
That's why we brought him on. You understand? Larry Jackson is back saying, concerning the standards, men would not go through a set of work to get a lady if another lady is making it easier for him than the one who knows what she wants in a man.
I still feel that
that's where you're at in life. That's where you're at in life. No, that's what I'm saying. That's where you're at in life. If it is I whiling, then that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I wildin', yes, I want the person who not making me go through a lot of things.
I feel like we're going through something. All right, continuing. Iconic Image Photography says, love the convo, guys. He also went on to say, so powerful. Thank you so much, Iconic Image Photography. Wish we knew your first name, but big up you. Gabby went on to say, I agree. Every time I was sexually harassed every time I was sexually harassed, and unfortunately, the one time I was touched inappropriately, I was in jeans and a hoodie or something modest.
Yeah.
It's never been when I was dressed sexier.
Yeah, that was probably when I was
That's
explaining
your
this
Yeah.
story.
That's that. I think that was in support of your point.
Yeah.
KTC said, "How about telling a 3-year-old girl to sit properly because there's male company in the
And that's
house."
wild.
Yeah, very wild.
Wild.
You're teaching a 3-year-old her actions are responsible for a grown man's thoughts and actions.
Right. You see where we
So
go
that
back?
conditioning.
No, but you see where we go back to that dichotomy of hero villain, where that's your uncle, so don't make him do something that would turn him into
Yeah.
something
Versus
else.
Yes.
if that
Versus
if you
saying,
have to say
yo,
that to a child, why the uncle
The
even
uncle
there?
the uncle is in problems, but
Yes.
it's uncle. It's not evil man outside who just drive taxis and kidnap girls. It's uncle. So we do address it the same way. No, call it what it is, bro. He's a
If you
borderline
feel the
rapist, bro.
need to
Yeah.
tell a 3-year-old that concerning the uncle, then why is the uncle there?
Yeah, putting the onus on the 3-year-old too. KTC goes on to say, sorry to hear this, Gabby. Gabby then said, to be honest, I think what can help this situation is a focus on men's mental health. Men's mental health matters, and they should have proper resources to work through mental issues without being judged.
Right, and that's exactly
Excellent point.
that's exactly what I was saying. Where the existential angst that men going through right now is what is open them up to that kind of vulnerability. So I don't know what to be. I don't know what to do. Okay, it's not a protector. It's not a provider. It's not a warrior. It's not this or that.
What
Are
is
useless
my-
then?
Yeah,
Are
what is my
useless then?
place in society?
You understand what I'm saying? So, and again, that is one of my personal missions, because
Yes.
which is why, the couple times out I've talked about women's issues, it was never to bash men, it was to kind of give a perspective where it's like, listen, fellas, there's a world we don't understand that women living in as to why they reacting like this to us. So we we adjust our mentality to understand that. We be compassionate, and then we get back to making sure that we deal with our own mental health, understanding this space. But big up Gabby.
Excellent. Big up you, Gabby. Dennis went on to say the dichotomy between the women's comments and what men understand as the right way to be. Sigh. He couldn't quite finish it. He just
He trying to say is that like
Yeah, so
Yeah.
probably
That was before
tied
you
to
called.
the same points.
big
Yeah.
up Dennis Samuels Day.
yeah. KTC
Dennis
says
Allen. Dennis
You
Allen.
didn't catch it? Okay, cool.
Kevin Samuel.
right. King Stoney says, yeah, I rate this homie 100%. Well said. Carrie Ann Bernard said, oh my gosh, I now reach home outside real wet. Big up you, Carrie Ann. Big up you. Hi, everyone, she says. King Stoney says, 23 watching and 8 likes. Hit a. Well,
We
King
have
Stoney
our own analytics.
Yeah, big up Stoney.
doing our job for us. Big,
Big up
you.
Stoney. Big up Stoney.
Dennis Allen said, it don't work for you. And he said, hashtag team, what we go do, girl.
Dennis on me, boy.
He on you.
Dennis on me, boy. I don't know Dennis Samuels Day, boy.
Castor Campbell says, what? Homie spitting straight facts there. Yes. Big
That's
up you,
my
Castor
friend,
Campbell.
Castor.
New to
Always
the chat
tune in,
room.
always tune in.
First time commenting though.
Yeah, first time commented.
Big up you,
I think he
Castor.
commented before, but yeah, he always tuned in.
Carrie Ann Bernard says, hook up nothing. I want I want someone to spend forever with. If you don't want forever, I will move on or wait
Big
for it.
up, big up Gary.
Yeah.
Big up Gary.
I'm not mad at that.
Easy. Big up Gary.
She says, Sheila said, I love how y'all got excited for the call. Cute. All you who don't have social anxiety, call in. Yes, she leaves. Yeah, we do get excited because we love to, to talk to you guys live. It's a different kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Larry Jackson is back and said,
Hi, Larry.
I should have said some men concerning the standards, not all men.
Yeah.
Well said.
we hear you.
Well said.
LJ said, which is a lot, boy. I only had like 5 more before, and now it's a whole.
No,
lot
it's mostly praise though, and not
Yes.
So I
nothing.
guess it could filter.
So you could
All right,
filter.
let me
Filter a
filter.
bit.
All right. Yeah, we do need to take a
We
break
need
as
to
well.
take a break, guys.
Right.
But don't go anywhere.
Right. Okay, we'll continue a
Don't
little
touch
bit.
that dial.
We do need to take a quick break, and we may have to also cut this show short because
course.
this topic of the day clearly went over. It is a hot topic, and we just had to roll
Wait
with
now,
it.
but the show is not 12 to 2?
Yes, we done gone over our time, long time.
Oh,
When
wait,
we
now,
take
but that nice life,
We
man.
still have four
more
segments.
segments to do.
Where's the 4 more segments, boy?
Yeah.
Spotlight, let's talk trends, get
You
you
gone
going through empowerment minutes. So,
Yeah.
guys, you're still in for a treat.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back. All right, guys? Much needed.
We're gonna play some LJ.
We're going to play some LG.
Yeah, big, yeah. Run out LJ there.
All right, yo.
Caption, physical attraction, body limber, ready for action. The double texting pressure my cellular. Pirelli's wider, it is better for the traction. Pay me no mind, man, I'm just scrolling on my Instagram. No prima plan, operating under ambition. God's child, he blessed me with mad style. Hey, where you going, mama, stay a little while. Cause I got what you need. Bubble rolling up, he got mad trees. Don't worry about the PCPs, girl, put your mind at ease. Pour out the cognac for those in need. Spill to the pavement for the RIPs. Blessed enough, yes enough. Never give you nothing less enough. Man, not the best enough, less enough. Put a keep on your chest. Come on, a 10 out of 10. Never need to flash on them. Never tolerate your friend. Blessing up, I may say blessing up. Come and make me bless it up. Give her sell a bon C, I take out her fancy. Dimension up top, gotta be double D. Smooth round brown, hair smelling like peaches. She rock crop tops with the fresh wallabies. Already viral on the Twitter. Baby girl is sweeter than a fritter. Lovely lady, why forget it with ya? And anywhere you go, the girl them biting on your style. They don't say that to bitter. Kinda like Tori and Lois in our own lane. You know I'm the man, girl, we both came. Ain't got to tell me I'm super, it's in my first name. Never had to touch a dope game. Blessed enough, yes enough. Never give you nothing less enough. Man, not the best enough, less enough. Keep on your chest. Come on, a 10 out of 10. Never need to flash on them. Never tolerate your friend. Blessing up, I may say blessing up. Come and make me bless it up. Yeah. Send out the injunction, we ballin' at the function. And celebrating life at every junction. Bad mind go away, we not no time for ya. Nothing but good vibes. No, sister. Lady, do you have your mister? Girl, I just might enlist ya. None of fight, no fister. None of mad see, none of mix up. Don't worry if you read me, no Krystal. Yeah, time waits for no man. Get with the program. Love lives the slogan. No, them girl and them always try to lie to themselves. But it has always come back down to real. You know. Man, them. Yeah. You know. Then she realize, looking at me eyes, put a kiss upon her thighs. Then she realize, the man a fish in the skies. Looking at the skies, man, a star, she realize. Yeah, then she realize. She wanna be up in my ride. Then she realize. Yeah, then she realize. Then she realize. Ah, yeah. LJ, she step for me. Beat her crepe for me. Realize she slept for me. No, she have to check for me. Yeah. Man, them know, say them can't cross me. Them get wet up like a pool party. Yeah. whole heap of girl want me. Through me flyer than a Air Force 3. Then she realize, yeah, looking at me eyes. I put a kiss upon her thighs. Then she realize, the man a fishing at the skies. Looking at the skies, man a star, she realize. Yeah, then she realize, she wanna be up in my ride. Then she realize, yeah, then she realize. Then she realize, link me bout ya for 3:30. Now she have to know about me. Silence in a quarantine. Now she have to come choose me. Every day she want see me. Want to climb up on the mango tree. Yeah. Like a girl you know, say everywhere me go, say me like Tarantino. 6:30, she a night nurse me. And baby, I don't see no lies. When I'm thirsty, she's sweeter than Hershey. Don't you worry about no compromise. I'm in her head more than a hairdresser. Gangsta me a undresser. Yeah. She want some money, so me go and bless her. No other man can get her. Then she realize, looking at me eyes. Put a kiss upon her thighs. Then she realize, the man a fish in the skies. Looking at the skies, man a star, she realize. Yeah, then she realize, she wanna be up in my ride. Then she realize, yeah, then she realize. Then she realize, yeah.
All right, guys, we are back. We are back with more Island Girl talk. Guys, if you're just joining us, you've been missing a very interesting, lovely conversation about male privilege. You know, we got a couple calls, we got a lot of interaction. We have our in-house sounding board and male representative, J Revolution here, you know, giving his perspective on behalf of the men as well. We got into a little bit of a debate, you know. All right. Jay, big up yourself now, but
Was that me?
yes, you.
I'm sorry. I was taken off guard there.
But unfortunately, we can't go through all of the scenarios that we had planned for Jay because we are way behind. So we
But
just
it was fruitful still. I don't feel
Quite
like you
fruitful.
left dissatisfied, you know. You were
It
Yes.
was needed.
right? It was needed. It was a release.
That's right. And we're going to just finish with the chat rooms for you guys, right? And have the amazing Jay here comment on each one briefly, and then we'll wrap it up for topic of the day. All right. So we have Jared Gomez saying everybody has standards. Wait, I have to go back up a little bit. LJ said many of the difficulties fellas facing is because they're not appealing from jump, right? He also said,
It's happened. It really happened.
he said many standards fellas face, some men don't deal with because they're attractive. Another point. We addressed that. She Leaves said, we inside the anniversary party, right? King Stoney still promoting us.
Duty. King Stoney is on job.
Right? Well, I mean, we might have to pay him. Well, yeah. Jared Gomez says, everybody has standards. LOL. Carrie Ann says, this show needs more time. Girl, you have no idea. Kirby Young Designs. Hi, Kirby. Thank you for the headbands. Kirby Young Designs says, guys, sorry I'm late. That's all right, darling. We already big you up.
Yeah.
She Leaves said, been saying we need 3 hours, queens. And then when we do 3, we might end up needing 4.
Yeah.
She leaves.
You know?
She leaves. I don't know if I can last 3 hours.
Had to
Yeah.
leave y'all wanting more.
That's right.
3 whole hours, why?
Nakisha Bowen says, well done. Thank you, Nakisha. I think she's a new commenter.
Hi, Nakisha. Another Nakisha here.
Hi. Shilly said, I done hit like and share a long time, you know. Big up,
Yeah, don't
Shilly.
leave. Stay.
Big up.
Stay.
Kirby Young says, Jamil is an amazing creative. Oh, we know.
Yes.
We
Could be
know.
Larry Link,
We
you know.
Sando Boy says, hit. Well, thank you, Sando Boy. Cyan Bribble says, great advertising for the headband.
Cyan elaborated.
Thank you, Cyan. We do our best. We do our best for our sponsors. She Leaves says, Jamil is very entertaining. I know it's serious topics, but I can't help but laugh in between. Of course,
Yes,
You know, and just so you know, Jamil will be a recurring guest on Guy's Perspective. He may
Serious.
even become our resident guys perspective
Serious?
hosts. Of course, we'll have different hosts that we will
now
rotate.
finding out about
Yes.
this.
He knew. He
Not
just
really.
playing
He knew. I told him.
Just playing modest.
Right? Larry says, I'm not going through nothing. And he's laughing.
Oh, you leave Larry
Let's
alone,
leave Larry.
please.
Sandra Boy says, it starts at home. And my wife have boys and we teach them to respect women and
Easy, Sandra
everyone.
boy.
Yes.
Yep,
Well
well
done.
done.
Snap,
That's
snap,
true.
snap.
That is true.
She was a Carib, sends her love. Right?
Hi, she was a Carib. That's my girlfriend.
Nice.
Chrissy.
We have 4 more guys. I finally got to the end. Carrie Ann Bernard says the first step is to hit like for me.
Carrie Ann is
Well,
on
alright.
job. Carrie Ann is on job.
On job. Iconic
Need to hire
image.
her.
Oh, Sancho
Sancho.
Francisco.
Yes.
Big up Sancho in the house. I thought that looked familiar. Hi, Sancho. Hope you're
Yes.
doing well, my love. He says this show is amazing. Jay needs to speak on men's mental health.
Yes.
Well, he's gonna be recurring, so we will
We
touch
will
on
organize.
Yeah.
that. Right? And then lastly, Marv Monty says, blessings to all who are tuned in. I'm late doing the university's work, but I will catch the replay. Stay safe,
Listen,
all.
Marv is our top
Yes,
fan when it
top
comes
fan.
to
Always,
social media.
yeah.
Always, yes.
Guys,
So well done,
thank you.
Marv.
Guys, thank you for all the love and the support. We appreciate it. You guys have been with us from day one, and we really appreciate all the interaction. We're gonna wrap up topic of the day
Yeah.
now, right? We've done our due diligence, our duty. Of course, J Revolution did not disappoint.
Yes.
Right? Jay,
Big
you
up,
want to say
big up,
anything
big
before
up
we wrap
you.
up this segment? Please tell them once more how to find you on social media,
Yeah,
etc.
no problem. I am J Revolution X everywhere. You know, I trying to do Twitter. I don't know, but find me everywhere at J Revolution X. You know, I'm supposed to drop my talk show today. I know, might get early in the morning. It's be Wednesdays, but you get in the morning. But really and truly, guys, what I do want to say in terms of me and media in general is that, well, first of all, big up to O.U.R radio, right? Because I like things like these that allow more creatives to jump on a platform and start to benefit from, you know, their own presence and their own work without having to go through some kind of conglomerate where it can't be yourself. I had to listen to this, that, and the other. I too am doing something like this, and I think the more the merrier, right? So in essence, what I am doing now going forward, which is why I'm in Central right now, is to build something. It's called full time, and it's supposed to be reflective of people who eventually would want to make money from their passion full time, not stay in a work Monday to Friday and then be entrepreneur on the weekend, right?
Yes.
If our radio was entrepreneur on the weekend, we wouldn't have had this.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's important, and that is where I am headed. So to continue along, I had a little setback, and I did a video on what was the setback. So you could always check that out, but nothing going to stop it. We go in full 100, and this is so look out for that. And I would love to, of course, partner with our radio as we go forward to make a lot of these things happen. Because at the end of the day, I am a storyteller, and Trinidad has a lot of too many untold stories. We see the same faces right through, dog. How much time or they go try to sell me tea or rum? Come on, let somebody else walk, bro. You know what I mean? So if we can't get, we had to make it, and that is what I am doing at the end of the day. So I just wanted to say that, right?
Snaps. Carrie Ann says big up UG.
Yeah.
All right.
Easy, Carrie Ann.
Well, guys,
We
that's
spoke about privilege, but it was a privilege to have
it was a privilege. Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. Privilege. And Jamil, I always knew that you were somebody that questioned everything.
Yes.
Since the back.
Bro, that's why
beginning of
people don't
time.
like me, boy.
No,
Yeah.
I love that because you don't just speak. You go and you research. You're
Yeah, no, but that's why people don't like me. Because they go
We
talk
like
some and
you.
I'm gonna
We
be
like
like,
you.
and I go be, no, I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. I don't mind that at all.
I mean, if we disagree, that's fine as well.
Yeah,
But,
and
it's nice to get
disagreement is not
different
animosity.
perspectives.
That's right.
Exactly.
But if you're talking mess, you're talking mess. And I feel like some people just don't like that.
Indeed.
The truth is a little,
hard to take.
you understand?
We still want to thank the callers for taking the time to call
Absolutely.
in and chat with us. But at the end of the day, we are here to bring awareness. Like we mentioned before, this is a show concerning women and women's issues, and we still leave a space for the guys because we still want to learn from y'all. We want to, want y'all to teach us about who you guys are so we can understand each other better. Yes? So thank you guys for calling
Krystal,
in
before you
as
go,
well.
sorry. Just one more thing, right? To the fellas listening, see what Krystal just said is about women's perspectives and stuff. When women start to address problems that they face when it comes to their relationships with men in general in society, the feeling of the uncomfortable feeling that they're feeling is normal now, and they have to work through it. Don't fight back by saying things like, no disrespect to nobody, but don't fight back by saying things like, oh nah, that's not how women is, and that's not this not. All that's anecdotal evidence. When the first thing to do is listen, and you will feel uncomfortable, dog. To hear a woman say, Dread, I just fear for my life around men in general, you as a man who believes that, I'm doing good things, I know I'm not like that, you're going to feel uncomfortable. So you need to work through that first and understand that it's not from a place of malice, it's a place of, look, which we have a responsibility and they're trying to get us on their side. So work through that feeling of uncomfortability and not just say, oh no, well, this perspective is not so because I see this and I see that. Just understand a lot of decisions women make are literally to survive. So you might think a woman cooperating when really and truly she in fear. So don't ever underestimate that. But we move.
Thank you, Jamil. Well said. This is really to bring awareness. Yes. So you guys, the ladies, want to say anything before we wrap this up?
No.
Yeah. All right, guys. We're gonna take a very, very, very quick break. Sit tight. We will be back with a little more Island Girl talk before we wrap up today. All right. So keep it locked on O.U.R. Radio FM.
He's just a child. You and me open. You're left provoking. My feelings floating. Just a child. He's just no good. He's just no good. He's just no good. You and me open. You're left provoking. My feelings floating. Just a child. He's just no good. He's just no good. He's just no good.
Physical attraction, body limber, ready for action. The double texting pressure my cellular. Pirelli's wider, it is better for the traction. Pay me no mind, man, I'm just scrolling on my Instagram. No prima plan, operating under ambition. God's child, he blessed me with mad style. Hey, where you going, mama? Stay a little while. Cause I got what you need. Bubble rolling up, he got mad trees. Don't worry about the PCPs, girl, put your mind at ease. Pour out the cognac for those in need. Spill to the pavement for the RIPs. Blessed enough, yes enough. Never give you nothing less enough. Man, not the best enough, less enough. Put that keep on your chest. Come on, a 10 out of 10. Never need to flash on them. Never tolerate fake friend. Blessing up, I say blessing up. Come and make me bless it up. To her sell a bon C, I take out her fancy. Dimension up top, gotta be double D. Smooth round brown, hair smelling like peaches. She rock crop tops with the fresh wallabies. Already viral on the Twitter. Baby girl is sweeter than a fritter. Lovely lady, why forget it with ya? And anywhere you go, the girl them biting on their style. They don't say that to bitter. Kinda like Tori and Lois in our own lane. You know I'm the man, girl, we both came. Ain't got to tell me I'm super, it's in my first name. Never had to touch a dope game. Blessed enough, yes enough. Never give you nothing less enough. Man, not the best enough, less enough. Keep on your chest. Come on, a 10 out of 10. Never need to flash on them. Never tolerate fake friend. Blessing up, I say blessing up. Come and make me bless it up. Yeah, send out the injunction, we ballin' at the function. And celebrating life at every junction. Bad mind go away, we not have time for ya. Nothing but good vibes. No, sister. Lady, do you have your mister? Girl, I just mighty list ya. None fight, no fister. None mad, see, none mix up. Don't worry if you read me, no Krystal. Yeah, time waits for no man. Get with the program. Love lives the slogan.
Hi, you guys. So, if you're now joining us, I'm sorry for you, but luckily for you at the same time, you can go back and watch it from the beginning because we had a very informative,
Intense.
Listen, this show was definitely one for the
Yes.
books. And because we're running out of time, we're about to dive into our favorite segment.
Your favorite segment.
Your favorite. Listen, let's go with it. Let's go with it.
All right.
Our favorite segment on here, especially today because we're featuring a special talented choreographer. But
Yes.
we're coming to that just now. It's all about
Let's talk trends.
So we're gonna keep it short and sweet, you guys. If you live in under a rock, we have a local Trinbagonian movie that's featuring a Trinbagonian cast called She Paradise that is now available for screening in Movie Town, Port of Spain and San Fernando until the May the 5th. Now, She Paradise, which was shot entirely in Trinidad and Tobago, it's a movie about a teenage girl who stumbles across... Yes, a teenage girl who stumbles across a free-spirited dance crew leading to alluring and unsettling encounters with the nightlife and money. So, it has some dancing.
Yeah.
It has some drama. It
Yes.
has some woman empowerment.
Yes.
Right? And we're going to show the trailer in a little bit, but I just want to highlight the fact that, listen, all the choreography that was done in this movie was done none other by our one and only Shawna.
One. Don't forget the one.
She don't like the one.
She look like the one. So guys, check
She's
out
the
the trailer
one.
for
But she danced up the whole movie.
Paradise. Check out the trailer for She Paradise, you guys, and tell us what you think in the comments.
Yes.
It was
In 1, 2.
I was now going to say something. I recognize you man straight into the trailer.
Okay, so we come into the trailer in a little bit. So that's reminding you guys, She Paradise is now available.
Oh, wait, we're not in the trailers yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can switch
Big up Maya Kuzi. She's the director,
I was
right?
gonna big up Maya and talk about it a little bit, but I didn't recognize you. We went straight into the...
Well, talk your thing.
We're
the
letting
things,
everybody ready
talk
for the
the
trailer.
things.
We need
How
trailer.
much oil will we reach?
You don't know? All right. All I seen is all I seen is the flyer for Richard. All right.
Sparkle, thanks for coming, eh? Leave my room. I love this.
You see me dancer?
Yo, Skinny wants us to be in his next music video. What? Sparkle, do you have any idea where you're getting yourself into?
And action!
You can dance? What's your name? Sparkle? She's still a child. You should come and audition.
Come have a good time, I drop it low. No need for rush now.
You call this a job?
Me now, come and show the ways. With it, I jump up, party till late.
Sparkle, thanks for coming, eh? Leave my room. I love this.
You see me dancer?
Yo, Skinny wants us to be in his next music video. What? Sparkle, do you have any idea where you're getting yourself into?
And action!
We are the party, with the heart and the mind as one. Let's make this some real thing.
What are you doing?
Dancing like a little jummet.
I tried my best.
Yes.
Trini, thanks.
She
that's now,
paradise
I
boy.
I wasn't too sure if the trailer was the one or not, so I'm still here talking.
Yes.
Sorry about that. But Maya Kose has been like one of my friends. We used to dance when we were younger. So she left the dancing industry more or less, and she went to pursue film. So she went away and she was studying film. And she asked me to choreograph the movie, and she met up with me, and then she let me read the script. And I was so shocked because it just shows you how creatives just have a diverse mind, and even if they don't belong to that lifestyle, just being in the culture of Trinidad and Tobago, you could reach out and create the different scenarios and bring it to life. So when I read the script and I'm watching all the raw read-ups, I'm like, who write this, girl? You? Yes, and I wanted to, So it was a really nice experience, and working with the girls, because they, according to them, we are not professional dancers. and I mean, some are professional dancers. But some are, right, but some are actually actors or actresses, or however we say that now. So it was nice to get them, on that side of things.
Yes, indeed.
Well, from the trailer, what we saw, big up you, Shawna.
Big up you, darling. Now I really want to go and see that movie. Looking best to her.
It's in Movie Town, Port of Spain and San Fernando until May the 5th. I don't know if they might extend, but you have until May the 5th, Trinidad and Tobago, to go and support
you should go and support.
You want to go watch it?
It's real important.
Yeah.
Big up Shawna. Making
Shawna
films is hard.
Wedding to attend.
Shawna probably doesn't see the screen.
She doesn't see it already.
Weddings to attend, okay? So when I get back.
Oh, serious? Yeah, Shawna really have a wedding to go to, boy.
Jamil have a wedding to go to too.
Right, that is true.
Well, enough with all the wedding talk. We about to
Sorry,
empower.
Neicy.
We about
I'm so
to do
sorry.
some empowerment.
Love is lovely, Neicy.
Love is lovely.
Come on.
So, ladies, it's time for
the Empowerment Minute. Woosa. We have to get Jamil in on it.
Bring it down.
As corny as he might think it is. Come on, Jamil. Let's get that camera on him. One more time. Neicy.
So it's
like
time
real
for
meditation.
The Empowerment Minute. Woosa. Come on, Jamil. Oh, okay.
Raise the hand. Raise the hand higher. People don't see any hand.
People. Yes. Yes.
Only one real thing,
We were real thing.
No, people would think it's joke. I mean,
Special thanks to all our viewers, the ones who never left us since we began. So we're gonna keep it short and sweet. And today's quote is a simple one, basically reminding you guys that you teach people how to treat you by what you allow, what you stop, and what you reinforce. Yes. Right? Let me repeat that. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow, what you stop, and what you reinforce. And today's quote comes from none other than Tony Gaskin, who's a motivational speaker, author, and life coach who have appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show and the Tyra Banks Show.
Yeah, me like it.
Nice.
Right?
Me like it.
So if you have anything going on in your life before you approach people and you want to tell people off, figure out what are you contributing to it. How are you reinforcing these things? How are you accepting these things in your own space?
Yes.
You know, you can't let people won't do what you won't allow them to do. So if they're doing it, you had to look in the mirror and have a little conversation with yourself.
Indeed.
Well, you would, a lot of us accept the love we think we deserve. You gotta check that.
Facts. That's it. We're wrapping up one time.
Jay, that's a good one to talk about.
Sweet.
What's up?
Next time.
Short and sweet. Guys, we had to wrap up all our and exclude
That was
some
free
of
of
our
charge.
Indeed. We had to wrap up and exclude some of our other segments we had planned for you because topic of the day went over. It was nice, it was juicy, it was flowing, and we had to flow with it.
Yeah.
All right. So that is the end of today's show. Right? It was amazing, better than we expected, right? A definite scene, right? And we hope you guys enjoyed it too. We want to thank J Revolution. Let's switch the camera to him for a minute there, eating his watermelon.
In action.
We promote healthy eating here at Island Girl Talk. Right? We want to thank you, Jay, for spending time with us. We know you're a busy guy.
No, kick us. Thanks for having me. Like
Absolutely.
I really don't take myself that seriously. So like anytime, when I say, I don't walk around thinking I'm more than I actually am. So when people really bring me on something and bring me up like this, no, it's great. I am privileged to be here.
Oh, well, we
right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean to say. Yeah.
Thank you. Right, we had a good time with you, hon, but it is time to go. Right, we hope to see you guys next week. every Wednesday, as you guys know, from 12 to 2, even though we always go over, right? Right here on exactly.
We need to do this.
2. Right here on O.U.R. Radio FM. And if you're just joining us, you know what to do. Go back and look at the show.
No, but don't forget the 24th.
The 4th.
The 4th, sorry. I said the 24th. My bad. My bad. No. What it is? The 4th of June. The 4th of June, that's Silhouette's first anniversary.
Yes,
Come on,
yes,
guys.
man.
More details and information coming soon, to stay locked on to O.U.R. Radio FM.
Use the discount code J.
And big up Kirby Young Designs
no, but
today
free.
for our
Lovely headbands. Too
I know
bad
you're not
Jamil
seeing
didn't
mine,
have
but I'm
one.
wearing
If Kirby could make some jerseys, where Kirby can get some videos on. Kirby, let me talk on.
Right. That's what we're talking about. Favor for favor. All right. So, guys, it's a wrap. Thank you for joining Island Girl Talk, where women are free to simply be unapologetically. Bye, guys.
Play with my mind and I go loco. Take time, just take it easy. You know, I sweet and loco. Yeah. Careful how you love me, I go crazy. Me not dirty, don't waste me. Maybe I should be a lady, 'cause I yiggy yaga fella can't face me, no. Move yourself with your ex and us. Oh no. I don't wanna play a tic-tac-toe. Oh no. Boy, you the best.